You know, back when I was in the academy, we would follow every toast with a song. It's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Come cheer up my lads, come cheer up my lads. 'Tis better to have loved and lost. 'Tis better to have loved and lost. Captain Jean-Luc Picard than never to have loved at all. The Federation starship, come cheer up my lads, come cheer up my lads. 'Tis better to have loved and lost. Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
17347321476 Charlie 32789777643 Tango 732 Victor 73117887324767897643676
Lock. When I have plucked the rose, G.O. Grey hot, longing still for that which longer nurseth the disease. In faith, I do not love thee. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? When I have plucked the rose, longing still for that which longer nurseth the disease. In faith, I do not love thee. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? 'Tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Come cheer up my lads, come cheer up my lads. 'Tis better to have loved and lost.
Incredibly unbroken sentence moving from topic to topic. No one had a chance to interrupt. It was quite hypnotic. Incredibly unbroken.
Well, hello everyone. that was
Oh,
that was nice. It wasn't a countdown this time.
yeah. That was funny to see.
It was like what? It said 30 seconds on there. I was like, that's not supposed to happen. Thanks for that, Rumble. Anyway, my name is Daramouthe, or Dara for short. Some of you are saying Daramouthe, and that needs to stop right now. Okay, it's Daramouthe, not Daramouth. All right, it's one swat to the mouth that should help with that. Okay, I'm just saying. But anyway, of course, I'm joined by the big man himself. All right, because there's a CEO in the name. I mean, come on, if you put CEO in the name, you got to live it up. But I have the Italian CEO. How are you, good sir?
I'm really good. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
No, yeah, it's always fun when you experience technical issues. It's like, yeah, that's gonna be a fun time. Hey, Slidey Pie, how are you? Oops, I gotta switch that. There we go. But yes, other than that, usually it works pretty well. But Rumble Studio is certainly going through its still growing pains. But whatever, I'm here for the ride. But yeah, that's it's really nice to be able to get to have people like yourself on. I know you're a creator. Obviously, you're on Rumble and all that stuff. But I mean, getting to have people because when I was talking to you about because I when I was talking, he's like, "Oh, is he actually from Italy?" It's like I'm in Canada. I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. I was born and raised there, but I live here now. Yes.
Oh wow, that's pretty awesome. I've only ever a long time ago. There was a magazine for kids. It's called Kids Discover, and it would talk about a whole different array of subjects. You know, Native American, technology, all this sort of stuff. And at one point, they did something on Italy, as far as I can remember. The only thing I can remember is grazie. That's
Gotcha.
that's as,
Yes.
that's as that's about as far as I get with any language I know. And at the other time, it's like you do the American kind of version of things. It's like, no, no, that's not how you do
Yeah,
it.
grazie is like, ciao, of course, is universal as
Oh,
well.
that's right. Ciao. Yeah.
Ciao,
But
grazie. Yeah.
grazie, I believe, is thank you, though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
See, I at least got the positive part right, other than accidentally saying a swear word. Like, look, kid, you might want to calm it down.
Oh, we have a lot of those. We can build our own, we can, you can build, that is the good thing about our language is we can actually build your own swear word depending on what you want to say.
Mm,
In English is actually rather boring because
yeah.
there's only a couple that you can
Yeah.
say, and that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah.
So for us, we can build it. Like we have the entire vocabulary,
Yeah.
and so it's fun to do it in Italian.
Yeah. Or is it a correct way of saying Italiano? Is that the correct?
Yeah, Italiano is like I am Italiano.
Okay.
Italian. I am Italiano. Yes.
The reason why I say that is because I mean, I know you're in Canada, but from the American perspective, we've taken in a lot of different. It's called the melting pot for a reason,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But we've also taken in a lot of different words that people say. French, s'il vous plaît.
Yes.
We. Everyone loves to say we just because of the fun of it part of it.
Mhm.
And then of course you have Spanish. Hola.
Hola.
All that's yeah. Those it's just like little bits and pieces we take from different languages, and
Mhm.
sometimes we say them right, and sometimes we're like way off. Because I was learning how to. It's been a while, but I was learning how to do Japanese, and
Yeah.
obviously in America, they do like sayonara and of course konnichiwa, stuff
Konnichiwa.
like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not really said like that. So konnichiwa is konnichiwa. It kind of accentuates, it kind of
Yes.
elongates, and then you have sayonara, and it's sayonara,
Sayonara.
sayonara.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's very funny how very different cultures and stuff kind of get mixed in with Americans, and they kind of say things wrong, but there's an adoption to it, right? Like you have German roots, you have Deutsch roots, you have obviously Mexican roots, and you also have Italian and Irish roots, New York,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting in this kind of melting pot, which in a degree it does have its own back. What's this word? It all has its own down stuff, the whole thing with immigration and all that stuff. But I mean, for the most part, it's somewhat worked in this melting pot. It's
Mm.
just there's a lot there,
Yeah.
a lot of stuff.
For
So
us, it's the same. We now actually, if you go to Italy, it's actually pretty impressive to see how many English words the Italians are actually including in the vocabulary. To give you an
interesting.
example, now if we talk about it, if we talk about something and say let's do it in the weekend,
Mm,
we don't say weekend in Italian is fine settimana.
mm,
Settimana is week, which is the
mhm.
same as the Spanish semana,
Okay.
and fine it's
Fine.
end. So fine
And
settimana is
mhm.
end of the week.
And
That
this
is the Italian way to say end of the week. But it's
hmm,
funny because now everybody, if you say to someone, let's do it during the fine settimana, they say do it in the weekend. So
mhm,
that is one thing. But they're actually adopting a lot of English words because us, when we grow up, we
mhm,
study Italian in school and English. That is the
mhm.
two main languages that we study when growing
Interesting.
up. For me, it was different because my mother's Canadian, so I was speaking
Oh,
English with her.
okay.
So I never studied English like in school.
Mhm.
All the English that I know, written and spoken,
Yeah.
is
Written spoken.
all self-taught. Like because I was talking to my mother when I was in school, like when
Yeah.
we were
Mhm,
doing tests and stuff. I
mhm,
was doing the test, like, and it was the sound was right. I was thinking, okay, this is right. Otherwise, I was changing the grammar. I don't even study grammar, so I don't know
yeah.
how the grammar works and stuff.
Yeah.
But in Italy, we study the Italian and English,
Mhm.
sometimes French, but it's
Right.
maybe an extra.
Mhm.
And it's funny you say that because we have the same thing for the English language. So a lot of words we are actually including in our vocabulary, especially in the north, like
Mhm.
Milano,
Mhm.
so the north of the country.
Mhm.
If you do go there, you can probably understand like 60% of what they say.
It's that's interesting
Yeah,
because for what it's worth, it feels like I mean, it feels like that English
yeah,
in not like British English because that's a whole nother ball game, unfortunately. But
yeah.
English itself seems to be a one language permeation because of I don't know if it's because of dealing with America or that a big chunk speaks English. I'm not really sure what is the real causation for that, but it does seem like a lot of countries, because Japan, right? Japan they do Japanese and English. Those seem to be the two big ones. But it's sort of this weird fascination where it feels like other countries are starting to take that up notch because you can go to almost any country. I mean, obviously, I could say I could go, like you were saying, 60% could be understood and all this stuff. But it's such a weird fascination because you would think that, because there's a talk about tradition and culture and all this
Yeah,
stuff, keeping
yeah.
that. And so language is a big part of one's culture and all that stuff. So you think that would be the case, but including that and to create like two different languages, it's just sort of this weird thing where English itself could be almost global in essence, and you'd probably see less of spoken other languages. I'm
It
not saying
is.
not saying I would want eradication, but it's just by speaking to you and others, it feels like that's the way it's going, where English is becoming more, what's the word, permeate or whatever it is.
English is the world's language, you know?
Mm.
Squeezy's he's always in my chat as well. He's awesome.
Yeah, he's
He's
been on
addicted
before
to
too.
Dune. Now he's addicted to Dune, the game. He's
Oh,
playing Dune 24/7.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
I've heard good things. It's an open world one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a survival open world where you can craft stuff as well. Like
Nice.
it's cool. I'll probably buy it like soon.
Yeah, I bought the Stellar Blade, I'm afraid, but I haven't played it in a while. So unfortunately, at work in this, but I enjoy doing this. So there's that.
Mhm.
But but yeah, the language of it's a fascination. Even if, and and again, it kind of goes back to like you have the sort of universal language, then you sort of have America kind of adopt all these other languages
Yeah.
in just like singular words, whatever. It's just like a it's just like a weird thing. I
But
can't.
it's I think it's after the war, right? So for us, after
Mm,
the war, because the Americans saved, they came in and did whatever they did. That is a fascination that I think is permeated the culture and the
mm,
society.
yeah.
So I think that's why, um, like historically, Italian people are like attracted to
Mm,
everything that is this side of the world.
mhm,
So history or um, fashion, all these things.
mhm,
First, they are here, they're out here,
mhm.
and then they come out there, like trends and stuff. Everything starts from here, and
Yeah.
it's funny to see. Like I live here, when I go back and I visit for like a week or whatever,
Mhm,
it's funny because if there's a trend here on TikTok, for example,
mhm,
it comes and goes away like in a couple of months, a couple of weeks, whatever.
mhm,
I go back there, and the trend is beginning. The same exact trend is beginning in Italy as well.
mhm.
So it's like starts here, and then other part of the world adopt the specific
Yeah.
trends or what trend or whatever. So it's fascinating to me seeing all these people doing the same thing that you do here in English, but
Yeah.
uh, in Italian.
Yeah.
That's funny. It's like when I was living in Spain. Like to me, it was super fascinating because I was used to people like like China. In Italy, there's not a lot of different cultures.
Right.
We have mainly people born in Italy. We
Mhm.
have probably a little percent of Chinese people
Oh,
from
okay.
China, and the rest is like North Africa, so Morocco,
Oh.
Tunisia, these places.
Mhm,
And to me, it was funny to see like a person speaking Spanish
mhm,
in Spain. You
mhm.
know, there's some weird things you see when you go somewhere else and you see like the different cultures, like other
Yeah.
people speaking other languages. That's funny to see.
Yeah, because I mean, again, there's some people who could speak a few different languages. English is about as far as I go, and I know bits and pieces here and there. Uh, but it's always fascinating when you get to meet someone who can speak a few various languages, like someone like Miss the First Lady, obviously can
Mhm.
Slovenia and all that sort of stuff. I don't know how one can speak five languages, but they go for it.
Yeah.
No, and Shield says no picture of Spanish person speaking Chinese in China. Well, okay, here's the correction though. You can't say Chinese because it's not exactly Chinese. It's either Cantonese or Mandarin.
Mandarin, yeah.
Yeah, because when people say Chinese, it's sort of like an all-encompassing, but it's really not. There's no language called Chinese. It's Cantonese or
hmm
Mandarin,
Yeah.
and Mandarin is sort of their. It almost feels like it's their uniform
Yes.
language, and Cantonese is sort of rural, at least from what I can remember.
And then you have different Cantoneses, if
Mhm.
you can call it Cantoneses versions,
Yeah.
in specific regions of China as well.
Mhm.
Like I lived in Shenzhen for 6 months,
Mhm.
and it was funny because I was traveling, let's say, with the car for 4 hours,
Phew.
and I was still in the same city. And I was like, so the one day I remember, I was like, we went out eating, and of course the food there is crazy spicy. For me,
Oh yeah.
spice like kills me.
Mhm.
And they're like, "Oh, we have to go to this festival, whatever it was, like exhibition, like for e-commerce. We were doing stuff,
Right.
and we went in the car. We drove for 3 hours,
Mhm.
and I was like, "Where are we? Like, is this a new like the north of China? Is this the south of China? Because
Mhm.
we were in the south." And I was like, "Where are we going?" And I
Mhm.
saw we are still in Shenzhen. So you're talking about? What do you mean? Yeah, this is Shenzhen city. Say what? And then you see big like skyscrapers and stuff. It's okay. So this is the city, and it's 3 hours away from the same city.
Oh goodness.
And then you realize how big the place is, and it's like, okay, so
Right.
now I understand how this is why they have so many people living here
Yeah.
because it's huge.
Yeah.
It's uncomparable. Like for me, like I was 3 hours for us in
Mhm.
Italy. You drive, probably you end up in Spain or France,
Wow.
and for here you end up maybe in another region,
Mhm.
but for sure not the city.
Smuffy.
Another town.
Mhm.
There you're still in the same city. That's so funny. And they speak different uh, accents of
Mhm.
Mandarin
Mhm.
based on the region. Like if
Yeah.
you go north, they speak a different accent, of course. And
Mhm.
sometimes they don't understand each other. So they have to go back to the main Mandarin to be able to talk to each other.
Yeah. It's sort of, if you come to America, you're dealing with New Yorkers versus Texans, and there's
Mhm.
that whole spread in between.
Yeah.
Um, but it's always fun to have fun with the accents just a little bit. But
Yeah.
be careful. There are some people who may get a little hurt from that, but I mean, it's all in good jest.
Mhm.
But no, that's pretty funny because I believe Russia is at least the largest landmass. I mean, it's not. It's pretty big.
I think Canada is the large. I think Canada is the largest. I think.
Okay.
I don't want to be wrong. I think either the first one, the second one, but
Mhm.
it's like a it's like a differentiation between landmass and a populated. I don't know, like habitable area. I think Russia is first on the habitable area, and
Mhm.
I think Canada is the landmass. I might be wrong.
Is Asia? I don't. I don't even know if that answers the real question, but
Asia is the continent, so I don't know if it makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah. Which, yeah,
That
pretty
is, yeah,
much.
Asia, of course, is the largest.
Yeah. What is the largest? I
What is
don't
the
know.
largest country? Let's do country, maybe.
Largest country. Okay.
Let's see.
Largest country in world. Russia,
Russia.
followed
This
by
is
Canada and the United States. Wow.
in the second place. Okay. So the largest country.
Yeah.
It's
17.
unimaginable though, like 17 million kilometers. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, that's a lot. Well, I mean, you just look at the map and look at where
Yeah.
it's at, and you can see. But I mean, yeah, I'm glad I could remember something at least. But it's again, like we were talking earlier, it's that fascination of, again, you have the cultural appeal of like movies and TV shows where there's an exaggeration form of said country.
hmm
Obviously,
hmm
Russians, bad guys. Um, what was it? Chinese? I think I don't know if it's still Russians or not. It used to be Russians back in the day in the 80s, and now I think it's like Chinese or something like that. I don't know anymore. But
Even in video games is the same thing, right? Video games always the US against Russia. Or if it's not US, Russia is always,
German,
Americans accent
yeah,
soldier
yeah,
soldiers against Russian sounding soldiers.
Yeah.
Maybe they call them differently, but the same thing, even in video games.
Yeah. Well, it's either that as the kids would say, the old-fashioned Germans.
Mm.
Um,
Germans as well. Yeah, like there's a game, Hell Let Loose, is like US versus German.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking more of Wolfenstein, but that's a little
Mm.
over the top for that. That's
Yeah.
way over the top. But yeah, I just find the fascination in because I've talked to people from was it Norway? I talked to a person from Norway, gaming chads from the Swedes, I believe, and talked to Australia. I've talked to people like Alaska, within the United States, outside the United States, mostly where English, because if I try to speak another language, the show is not going to do well. It's going to be like miming at a certain point, like
Hmm.
and that sort of stuff. It's just
Yeah.
not gonna go well. But I'm always fascinated because I know you don't live in Italia, but I was talking to someone like Tom, who I've had on, and I was just asking of his sort of life of like in the UK because I'm here in the United States. I don't really have a passport nor the finances to do that, but it's always a fascination because we come from two different areas of this globe, whatever you want to call it, and so we have two different viewpoints of living
Yes.
livelihood, I guess is the word.
Yes.
And so when you ask someone who has lived in Rome or Italy or whatever, and you can ask, okay, so what's that like? Like I was I was asking because I do know a bit of the English or British living, like mailboxes and pubs and all these sort of things, is movies and stuff. But Italy, I mean, you've probably you've probably seen those movies and TV shows where there are Italians portrayed to some degree. And I'm wondering from your perspective, is there any truth to that, or is it really just an exaggeration of what it is?
Uh, I think it's an over exaggeration because they have to, in the movie, you have to show the differences.
Yeah.
So the only way to do it is like over exaggerating something to
Hmm.
show them the difference between A and B. So that
Hmm.
is what they do. But if like I think one of the latest movies that I watched where they were in Rome actually was with the like Red Notice. I think was with The Rock and Ryan Reynolds. They were in Rome at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, okay.
It's not represented correctly. Like I've been in that area specifically tons of times,
Mm.
and it's not the way it is. It's just not
Right.
the way it is. Uh, but on other notes, some things are
Mm.
um, like the ease of life of living that you
Mm.
have there.
Mm.
Yes, that's something that is true.
Right.
Like here, the difference between, for example, here, like Canadians and US Americans have the same more or less culture.
Hmm.
There are differences, but more or less the
Mm.
US culture, North American culture is more or less the same
Right.
on specific things.
Hmm.
And here you live to work.
Right.
There you work to live.
Right.
So you make enough money to be able to go out at the restaurant, to
Hmm.
go out to the pub and enjoy life and do whatever you want to do and be free. Gonna
Hmm.
call it that way.
Yeah.
You're not rich because Italy is like sometimes people tell me, "Oh, I want to go and live in Italy."
Mm.
And it's like if you go to Jamaica and you say, "I want to live in Jamaica." It's the same thing
Yeah.
because maybe you don't see it because you think, of course, it's completely different. But I'm saying
Yeah.
if you live in a place, it's different by going there on holidays. If you have
Yes.
money and you go in Italy, it's
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah.
But if you live in Italy, you're not making money because the market of work there is crazy stupid. Nobody makes money. Like
Hmm.
90% of people survive with less than €1,000 a month.
Oh, jeez.
€1,000 is almost 1,200 US, more or less,
Jeez.
a month.
Mm-mm.
E... Ciao, sergente. uh, and yeah, so you don't have enough money, but you're happy because you're doing other stuff.
Yeah.
Here, people like work and work and work just to make money, but then they don't enjoy that much life
Mhm.
compared to what we do in Europe.
Yeah.
There's some different I don't know, it's different.
Yeah.
Even in the dating scene, for example,
Mm.
um, I don't know what it is. Here, if you tell a girl like I come and pick you up,
Yeah.
she says no because she's scared. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
Yeah.
for us, uh, for me in Rome, the way you do it, you ask a girl out, she
Mm.
gives you the address, you
Mm.
take your car and you go and pick her up and you take her out for a date, then you bring her back home.
Yeah.
Because that's the way we do it, you know?
Right.
The chivalry, all the other stuff. Here, I've noticed 80% of the girls that I've asked out, they
Yeah.
all say, oh, we don't do that here. Let's meet at the place. So why? Like, I didn't understand at the beginning. I said, what do you mean? I thought it was me. I said, no,
Yeah.
no, it's just a thing of trust.
Yeah.
What do you mean a thing of trust? They're like serial killers here that we
Mm.
don't know about. Say, no,
Yeah.
no, it's just a thing that we want to be, you know,
Yeah.
we want to make sure that if the date doesn't go right, you don't know where I live. It's like, oh, okay, cool, you know. Give a gelato, exactly. In the
Oh
back of the
goodness.
car, though, we enjoy it together.
Oh goodness. But for me that's the fascination itself because culturally you well, like you said your mom is Canadian and your
Yes,
dad's Italian,
my
right?
dad is Italian. Yes,
So you have two different areas of which you get to see this viewpoint of, especially since Canada. Is it like Toronto, Ontario, Canada? Okay,
yeah,
yeah, and those are usually like on the border of the Canada.
Buffalo, New York.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but for me that's such a fascination because you're in between two worlds where you get to see the highlighty difference where there are some similarities
hmm,
but there are extensive differences, like you're saying, live on a little, but you're happy. In
yes,
America, it's work to live, live to work, that sort of difference. But that's the whole fascination of it because you get to see the differences. You get to see what is a benefit and what can be considered. I don't want to say a disaster, but sort of like a negative because I mean, there's a lot of stuff in American culture that's sort of work or whatever because I mean, I'm not going to say the rest of the world doesn't have their own problems, but the work ethic can be such a disaster that
yeah.
it's
Especially even in social media now, with
yeah,
all these fake gurus telling you have to wake up at 4:30, have a cold shower, and then meditate and all that bullshit.
yeah,
Which I don't think is everybody's different. Everybody has their own routine. People are better in the evenings. People are better in the mornings, depending
yeah,
who you are and what you want.
mhm,
And the problem people selling the dream of money is it's not the dream of money, it's the dream of happiness. That's different.
yeah,
And people say the only way to be happy is to make money, but that is not true.
yeah,
Because once you reach that point,
mhm,
and for me that happened actually, I was like chasing this goal,
mhm,
of the nice house, nice car, nice restaurants, drive like do whatever you want, travel here, travel there,
right,
business class there, all these different things. But at the end of the day, you're not happy,
mhm,
and you're like, okay, so the dream they're selling is false.
yeah,
You should be chasing happiness,
mhm,
and like I said yesterday, like if you're happy with $2,000 a month
mhm,
and you have everything you need and you're
mhm,
happy and you're living your best life, you won.
yeah,
There's no need to have, millions in your bank account. Doesn't make any sense. That is not the measure to say you're happy.
yeah,
Money helps you, of
yeah,
course, it
yeah,
does. If you have issues, emergencies, 100%.
yeah,
But that is not the everyday life. Emergencies are called emergencies because they're not every day.
yeah,
So
mhm,
you need to be happy every day and maybe have enough in the bank to
mhm.
take care of those emergencies if they ever happen.
Yeah. I think if you are rich enough to experience things once, like for me, I would like to experience, what it would be like to be on the most expensive area of going on a train. A train's a little different here in America than over in Europe and
Yeah.
sometimes not so great. But to get to experience something once, that kind of rich, if I can say, is sort of a nicety, but you're right in the statement of money you can buy a lot of different things, you can have necessities taken care of, but there's a point, a limit where if you reach that goal, you come to a plateau where you ask yourself, okay, but what next? And usually, again, going back to the guru stuff, they say, "Oh, you got to do this, you got to do this." I'm like, this just sounds like more work than I want to, and it's like, what is this thing?
But it's
Um,
not cookie cutter, you know. It's not
yeah,
everybody's the same. If
yeah,
I like I did that for years, waking up at 4:30, but I was miserable all day.
yeah,
And then you're like, why am I even doing this? Because somebody on the internet told me that is the only way to make money. It's not
yeah,
true, you know, and that is a problem. People chase the money, chase, you know, the routine.
hmm,
You know, the staple of this is this guy, the other guy went viral because he shared this useless morning routine.
hmm,
You know, do you know that guy? I don't remember his name. He was sharing the routine like 3:44, 3:45, 5:30 a.m. He was sharing like you didn't see the viral routine. They went viral. This guy,
there's been a lot. There's been a lot of those.
yeah, this one was stupid to be honest. This was just stupid.
Yeah,
But people chase that and say, okay, so this guy is successful because he's doing the routine, he's doing the meditation, he's reading the right book.
hmm,
No, that guy is making money because he's selling a product that people want to buy.
yeah,
That's pretty much it. That is the only thing you need to do to make money.
yeah,
Find something people want,
yeah,
give value, and people
hmm,
will pay for it.
hmm,
That's it.
hmm,
There's no secret in making money. Well, most people think, oh, if I want to be rich,
hmm,
I have to wake up at 4:30, meditate for 45 minutes,
hmm,
then work out, then
hmm,
have a cold shower,
hmm.
then have a sauna. By the time you do that, it's like you're 8 hours in and you did like an entire workday.
Yeah.
And you're tired. You have to go back to bed at 6 a.m. You know what I mean? Doesn't
It's
make any sense.
my thing with all that stuff is, and it's like with going with your thing, it's like, for me, I was once asked about what about doing a merch store, and I'm like, I really wouldn't know what to say. I mean, I'd probably do something like this with the hat, but that'd be
Yeah.
it. But for me, it's like, and not that, turn too heavily to the content creator sphere, but that's been a sorted thing for me in doing all this because I don't, I personally deep down don't like that. I don't like it because that's where you see a big chunk of people who are in this sphere make a majority. Now, of course, there's sponsorships and affiliations and all those things. Like I'm a part of the creator program. And I also part of the Proton partner program. But those are things just to try to see how far I can go with them, if at all.
Mhm.
But this whole thing with selling like merch and food items and all this stuff, it's never, I get it on the business scale. I'm not a business person, but I get it on the business thing. And Slighty Pie says, if you're already happy, money would make life easier. To a degree, yes. But it's never made sense to me on a grand scale of doing this thing, because when you are creating content, why are you creating content? Are you creating content to sell something? I mean, there's various reasons. Like this is a ball of mixed yarn.
Yeah.
So many different colors, so many different strings of all different sizes, and I just can't bring myself to that. It's like, if this becomes a great thing, sure, grand, but I can't get to that point that it seems a lot of content creators do, because I feel like there's a falsity in it, if that makes sense. It
Mhm.
feels like I didn't start this thing because, oh, I can get to talk to a lot of people regardless of status. No, I'm talking to people so that I can sneak something in here and sell something and then get out. I just, and I'm not saying that's everyone. I'm just saying, from the look of things that I've seen, that's what I get from it internally, is I can't do that. I personally can't do, because what does that mean for me then? Right? I, I,
I know, I understand what you're saying. Uh, uh,
this is a troll.
yeah, that's
Hey, Lord
funny.
of the Rings.
No, leave it. Like I have fun with these people. To be honest, I don't mind them.
Well,
Uh,
I've
but
had
the
one or
problem
two.
with these people, most of them are boring. Like so, I always expect more.
Mm,
Like this guy here, no, it's funny,
yeah.
but I think he can do more. So I'm expecting more. Like entertain me. You know what I mean? Just do it. I know you can. You have more in your
Well,
arsenal. Just go back to ChatGPT or
mm,
Gemini if you want to write something really good.
uh,
Do it. But yeah, that's a meme actually. I understand.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a meme.
yeah.
But if the problem is why you're doing it,
Mm-hmm.
it means that you're not doing it for the right reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Because, for example, I made content at the beginning. I started because I wanted to sell something.
Right.
So I had in mind an idea of, because I was doing like in e-commerce on my own, and I
Right.
had issues on specific things.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, let me try and create a service around the same issues that I have, because maybe I can. Very deadish today. Hi, Glam.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think, and I did, okay, if I start a YouTube channel,
Mm-hmm.
eventually I can get there. Let me give value to people.
Yeah.
Let me show them what I do
Mm-hmm.
so they can learn something.
Mm-hmm.
And in the meanwhile, I build my company,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll sell them the services they need to actually scale the business. So that's what I did at the beginning.
Right.
But then that is what was one thing. I
Mm-hmm.
was making content, I didn't care about the views,
Right.
because I knew that I care about the quality of the views. Even if I have 200 people watching, but
Mm-hmm.
10% of those people were buyers, so customers, I
Mm-hmm.
was happy. I didn't care. But then I started making content for fun,
Mm-hmm.
and I started a YouTube channel, I think 2 years ago or something
Mm-hmm.
like this. And I was looking at the numbers all the time. I was like, no, this is not normal.
Yeah.
And I stopped doing that. Then I created another YouTube channel because I like tech,
Mm-hmm.
talking about tech, and had fun. And I noticed if you have fun,
Mm-hmm.
because you actually doing it for free anyways,
Right. Yeah.
that is the best way to do it, because people will notice. Because if you're doing something because you're forced to do it,
Yeah.
or because you have another goal in mind, people will notice.
Yeah.
You think you're hiding it, but you're not. People will actually notice, because people are not stupid online. They can
Right.
see it. Same thing goes for my Rumble account.
Mm-hmm.
I was gaming regardless. I need gaming in my life, because if I don't do that,
Yeah.
I go insane.
Yeah.
Like, for real, I go insane.
Right.
So I said, okay, you know what? Let me just do it on Rumble
Mm-hmm.
and see what happens. I didn't like Twitch.
Yeah.
I didn't like Kick. I
Mm-hmm.
was already doing YouTube, and I know live streaming on YouTube is not the best idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I started on Rumble, just, to try. Uh, that has many goals. And that is the thing. I started, and for me it was like having fun and meeting new people and make friends.
Mm-hmm.
So then I actually started caring about the community, and that's why I decided to do all the content that I'm doing to help the community as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've seen that too. I've seen there was, I think the recent one was it was that thing you're creating, the streaming element, I think it is. I
The
don't
AI app,
I didn't know what you called it. Yeah, I just know you were um
a web app, yeah, it's like
yeah.
something that plugs into your stream, and you can create, like, do AI summaries, and you can also have a companion in your stream and
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
to it.
Yep.
That, yeah,
Yeah.
will be ready by the end of the month, by the way.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
know you talked about like it was ChatGPT you plug into it or
Yeah,
some.
it's Claude. It's Claude and another AI. It's called
Oh, okay.
Claude, which
Oh
is
yeah.
very useful for coding,
Yeah.
and Gemini
Mhm.
combined. Plug into this tool. It's called Lovable,
Mhm.
and you can talk to it as a human
Mhm.
and say, "Hey, I want this button to do this specific thing," and the AI codes the backend to make it happen.
Yeah. Well,
That is pretty much it.
yeah, and I use Claude almost, not I wouldn't say on a daily basis, but I use a majority of the time because I just enjoy using it. And I know there's other ones like ChatGPT or whatever, but
Yeah.
Claude's been the one I had first, and I just kind of gone with it. So I've never used it for coding, but I have used it for like my survey stuff and whatnot to
Yes.
kind of summarize and all that stuff because there are things it will get wrong, just to
Yes.
be forewarned and all that stuff. But I just see it as a tool, not like evil mastermind sort of with a tool, but I see it as a helpful tool because, and of course, you've probably seen all those discussions like the AI art, the VO3, right? Have you seen all
Okay.
those? Have you seen
Yeah.
all those movies? That's been insane.
Listen, that is, I mean, the people that complain about these tools to me are just, uh, I don't know, they're screaming at the wind.
Yeah.
Like most trolls online. For me, they're not. Again, I don't care. That
Mhm.
is, like, technology is moving that way. Either you like it or not.
Yeah.
It's not because you're sitting in your house, typing on your phone, say, I don't like it, this thing will stop.
Yeah.
Because even if, let's say, tomorrow they decide, okay, let's stop it, China won't stop.
Yeah.
So you have to keep going and keep investing, because the first country that actually cracks the entire thing
Mm.
will be very powerful. So that's the main reason. Like ChatGPT is cool, but of course they have other reasons
Yeah.
for other things because they wouldn't even know.
Mhm.
So that is technology. That is just the way it's going. Then the difference is going to be who is actually using the tools, who is not using the tools. That's
Mhm.
pretty much it. Like if you are creative and say, "Oh, AI will take my job," that's not true. AI will help you create faster.
Mhm.
If you're a good creator, you will have an edge still with people that are not creative creating content.
Mhm.
Same thing goes for live streaming. I think actually our job will be the only job remaining once AI will fully take over robots and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think humans will still want like the human contact,
Yeah.
knowing that it's actually a human behind the camera instead of an AI.
Yeah. And I think and I mean if like you're saying it's moving forward because I mean if people haven't noticed on YouTube on the creator end, they have a little tab called the inspiration tab, right? Like I don't know if anyone's seen that. Do you not think for once that YouTube, Google is not going towards the trend of making their own content creator? Because
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
100%. They already
because
made already thousands of them.
well, I mean, you have
Meta did the same.
you have I mean, again, you have the VO3 stuff that's been coming out, and that's Google's, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Once it gets to the point you could do maybe 10-minute, 30-minute videos or whatever, what is it gonna mean for those on YouTube? I mean, at a certain point,
Yeah, I think people will still watch, like, for example, I still listen to, this will make me sound really old, but I still listen to vinyls.
right?
Yes, I can go on YouTube and listen to music, but vinyls are different.
Yeah,
And people will still want to watch, humans doing stuff.
yeah.
So that is not going away.
Mhm,
And humans had always been like underrated every single time a new thing comes along.
mhm.
But I think we will be fine. You
Yeah,
know, people that think, "Oh, this thing is gonna steal all your job." No, it actually is gonna make life easier and better for most people.
yeah.
Like I give you an example. In our warehouse that we have in Poland,
No.
I hate the people working there.
Mhm,
Like I really do. Not
mhm.
because I'm evil, but because the Polish culture
Yeah.
is like try to do less amount of work possible
Mhm.
for the most amount of money.
Yeah.
They work for 2 months and
Mhm.
then they go in sick leave for like 3 weeks and then they just leave.
Jeez.
So when actually they're already there, but when robots, the package stuff will be available,
Mhm,
I will buy one robot and replace two people because
mhm.
one robot will cost 50K.
Yeah.
50K is like less than a year's salary for a person. So in 1 year, it already repaid itself,
Mhm,
never goes on leave, doesn't need holidays,
mhm,
doesn't get sick,
mhm.
and doesn't complain, you know,
Yeah.
doesn't have birthdays,
Yeah.
and is gonna be my life better.
Mhm.
And eventually, like, all the customers will be happier because deliveries will be faster.
Right.
So this is what I think is going to happen. Like these jobs, like things that people like, you don't need a skill to package stuff.
Yeah.
You need two hands and a brain. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
It's
On the
an easy
base.
job to do. Of
Yeah.
course, if you're skilled, you can do it faster, but that's another story. But like, if that is the only qualification that you have, having two hands and a brain, that's a pretty low bar. So
Yeah.
those people should be worried about AI. But the people that are actually skilled in doing stuff,
Mhm.
they don't need to be worried because their skills still valuable.
Yeah. It's gonna be again, there's always the talk like, well, they should make laws, and by the time they make laws, those laws will be obsolete because
Yeah, they
technology
will
moves
stop.
faster. Yeah, it
Yes.
moves faster than the people supposedly who's supposed to be in charge of making laws,
Mhm.
unfortunately. But it's just a fascination, at least from my perspective, because I understand both sides to a degree. This is not trying to one up either side. It's trying to come to understanding of either side that, yes, for one, it's a better tool, and others for it's taking away the human thing, whatever. Which you see a lot of commissioned artists or whatever, we have a lot of people, Twitter X, right? You've
Yeah.
probably seen enough of them. They're like, "Can you stop DMing me?
Yeah.
Can you just stop DMing me?" One too many of those have come across my way. I'm just like, I thank you for following me, but I don't want a commission. Yeah, it's really just silliness. But no, I understand that regard, but I also understand the people who are scared because again, like you said, throughout all of human history, we've created these things where one point took over the Industrial Revolution, right? Remember way back in those days, there used to be people who would be paid to come wake you up. Literally, there'd be throw a little pebble on the stone or whatever. Now you have alarm clocks. But
Yes.
what about the jobs for the people who did that? What about the oil, the lamp lighters? Used to light gas light lit lamps, and I'm pretty sure those are still out there to some degree. Some people have nostalgia. Where are those people at? Where are the people that used to light gas lamps or oil lamps or whatever? At the end of the day, those jobs slowly disappear because technology. Gutenberg press. The Gutenberg press was invented, and all of a sudden you have the quicker way of getting word out there, newspaper
I'll
and
make
book.
it easier for you. The horse and the car.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Like technology moves fast. That's pretty much the what happens.
Hmm.
Eventually, people will adopt it because it's better, and you will still use horses to run around, sure, but people will mainly use cars. That's it. And again, if you complain, if because maybe you don't understand it, that's another story. Just educate yourself.
Let me see. It's in description. And by the way, I should say I've had Lord of the Realm before. He calls himself a troll, but he's not
I like the troll name.
Lord of the how sounds it, the Lord of the Re. I almost feel like when it's said, it's almost like someone trying to tie up a pig. Lord of the Re. Oh, but this guy's cool. Yeah, yeah, of course. Sorry about that. Um, but yeah, it's just as time progresses, technology changes, and as technology
Yes.
changes, people's viewpoints. I mean, think of it this way: like the cell phone, right? Like the cell phone was inspired by one of the things off of the first Star Trek, the original Star Trek.
Mhm.
It became that block sort of thing. And now you have smartphones in your hand. I don't see anyone throwing down their phones and saying, "I'm done with technology." No, they go to Twitter X and they complain about everything else.
Yep. Yep.
Let me do farm engagement and try to get that monetization on Twitter X.
Complaining is easy. I mean, I don't like complain. Like Italians are known for being complainers, like
Mhm.
for real. It's cultural. So this is something I really don't like
Yeah.
because I see myself doing it sometimes. Like
Right.
if you complain, do it in a constructive way.
Yeah.
So I don't like this. Propose like give a solution.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you don't have the right to complain. This is the way I see it.
Right.
So they like us. We complain. If you go to Italy, people complain 24/7.
Wow.
Like when I was working with Apple
Mm.
in Ireland, um, there were Italians there. They were the only ones complaining about Apple. They were giving us dental, everything, but they were the only ones complaining.
Mhm.
So I don't like people complaining. Don't do it.
Yeah.
It's easy to do. It's so easy to do.
Yeah, and to give an example of that regard, um, I I use Rumble. I also use YouTube,
Yeah.
and I'm invested in Rumble and all this stuff, and I do want to see it grow. But there are times where a lot of what they do, not a whole lot, but some of the stuff they do doesn't make sense because we're on one end, they're on the other, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of different voices talking or ranting on a bunch of different things, tech wise or whatever, doesn't really make sense. And those scattershot voices seem like the big voices of this is the thing that's wrong, this is what you change. Now, after a while, I've had my own frustrations too, all this sort of stuff. But then I was like, well, what about just changing that and then making something that you can get a lot of people to all that stuff? And that's what became my surveys
Hmm.
over time. Now, of course, there kind of taking a bit of a break to quarterly because having people take that kind of a big survey every month is not working out well. But I'm doing a question of a month, so that should be a little easier. But my thing was is that instead of being frustrated at the whole ordeal, why don't I just collect data, feedback data from people and find out where things are at? And
Yes.
that's where I found out from March of this year to May because I had done a singular survey because
Yeah.
I'm using Microsoft Forms for those who don't know. And then I split them into two using Claude's help to creator and viewer. And that way you're getting two very different perspectives because creators one view, viewers another view, all that sort of stuff.
Of course.
And so through that March through May, I found that platform stability was a big issue.
Still is.
Yeah, still is. Content discovery is a big issue. Still is.
Still is.
And then, of course, other stuff with like Rumble Studio and whatnot. The point of the matter, though, is that I did something in a constructive manner that, yeah, you could use that data to kind of tear at Rumble and all that stuff, but I'm not going to do that. I'm simply going to say, look at this, what I've gathered. These are a lot of people saying that these are the issues they have with your platform,
Yeah.
right? And my other issue too is, and not to bash and Rumble, but it's the thing of you have a lot of people who would like to use it. Obviously, you have a lot of people coming from Twitch and YouTube and Kick where it's much easier to use their stuff. Well, in the sense of use, right? Ease of use sort of thing. And then they come to Rumble and they have to feel like an IT specialist in order to use the product. Seriously.
I agree. I agree.
And so when you're trying to, I'm not going to point names, but I've seen it. When you're trying to convince someone to come over to Rumble, the first thing you should do is really ask why they don't instead of trying to convince them to come over anyway. Because for me, if you're not listening to the issues of what they have before all that, then trying to convince them at all to come over to Rumble is a misstep and it shuts them down because there are a lot of people who are very hype. I get it. There are a lot of people who are hype, a lot of people who are very cheerleader. That's fine. I'm not trying to use those words in negative connotation. I'm trying to explain what I've seen because there are people out there who are very trollish and harassers of Rumble staff and all that. Those exist. My issue is I have always stated that I will praise Rumble when it does well, but I will also admonish when it does poorly. And I'd rather use data than the emotional outbreak that many people do.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd also like to be honest about the platform because that's a big issue and that's any platform. You can go to YouTube, you'll see about the same thing. You go to Twitch, you'll see about the same thing. You go to Kick, you'll see about the same thing. Each platform has their own hype cheerleader and all that other stuff. Because group, tribalism, all that sort of thing, right? That's the stuff that makes sense. Nobody really knows what Rumble even is, and exactly, and that's partly on Rumble. But
Honestly, I'm happy about that because right now Rumble is not ready. Like the main issue for me is I can't play videos or rewatch videos flawlessly like I'm doing on Twitch. Again, I don't like the way it works because every time I open something, I have to sit through like 15 ads, and I don't like that.
yeah,
I don't like. I
Yeah.
value my time to spend. I pay for YouTube Premium because I like to watch videos without the ads, and I'm not like subscribing to 15 different people, so I don't have to watch
Mhm.
ads. But I don't even know why it works. But I don't like the platform.
Yeah,
Rumble
understand.
is not ready, so I was surprised when they did the Doctor Disrespect deal because I was like, okay, so maybe they're fixing it because I was on Rumble before, like maybe a couple weeks, not even that much, but a couple weeks
Oh,
before Doctor, and I was
okay.
like, this thing is not ready. So when I go on it for because I usually watch content on my Apple TV
Mhm,
or on my phone.
mhm,
I rarely use the PC. I'm like videos they froze most
mhm,
of the time. I have to refresh the page constantly.
mhm.
On the phone when I'm doing donations or gifting subs, whatever, the UI is weird. I'm pretty sure they know about this stuff,
Yeah,
but I also know at the same time how big companies work. And
yeah.
the problem with these, like, let's say I am the CEO and I'm telling you,
Mhm,
like, you are the VP of product management, whatever,
yeah.
tech. Say, listen, you have to do this you have to fix the stuttering, whatever it is.
Uh-huh.
Then you have to go to your team,
Mhm.
ask them how much it takes.
Yeah.
They will get back to you.
Yeah.
Then you have to see how much it costs.
Yeah.
Because if you have 15 developers working on something,
Yeah.
that's not free.
Oh, no.
Then, then you have to go back to the board and
Mhm.
tell them, hey, we need to fix this. This is the price. And they say how much money this is going to make us.
Mhm.
And good luck in convincing them. The user experience will be amazing.
Yeah.
They don't care about that stuff. They want to just make money.
Yeah.
So I also understand that part.
Mhm.
But it's not an excuse to have a product that doesn't work. But I see they're doing steps. Like for example, with Studio, when they started with Studio,
Mhm.
like the version we are using now, it
Mhm.
wasn't the best.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
wasn't working. That for me, for example, for gaming was awful.
Yeah.
But in 3 months,
Mhm.
I was able to live stream at 80,000 bit rate.
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing that, yeah.
Yeah, so like they fixed it in 3 months. That's actually very fast. I was super surprised to see they did that in 3 months.
Yeah.
So I'm confident enough they will actually fix this as well because they
Mhm.
have a list of priority to go through. Some
Mhm.
stuff they wouldn't even know because maybe something is so internal they have to fix
Yeah.
without considering legal.
Yeah.
Because every time you have to do something and manage user data, for example, that takes a lot of time for legal to go through the entire terms and condition for every country.
Ugh.
I think Rumble's only, I'm not sure where Rumble is doing stuff, but then you have to go in each country, in a specific country, and check their
Mhm.
legislation and make sure you're not infringing any type of,
Mhm.
human right, whatever it is. It's
Yeah.
just a lot of work to do. It
Yep.
takes time. And I appreciate people like you to say, okay, instead of just complaining,
Mhm.
let's gather the data
Mhm.
and tell them, hey, the thing that I'm saying is not me being emotional, it's me like with information that
Yeah.
comes from data. And
Yeah.
that's useful for them as well. Like you're doing work for them for free at the end of the day.
It's true. Well, that's true. I want my paycheck. But
But also it's good because you investing as well your time for free now, but because Rumble has potential, it will grow
Mhm.
and this will return back to you
Mhm.
once a platform is good enough.
Yeah. Again, it's just, and it's also where, um not gonna say there aren't some people that have their own opinion things, but it's also for me to, like, if people ask like, "Oh, your stuff is fake," or whatever, and all this stuff, because I did have, I'm not gonna say the name, but someone did try to discredit my survey taking stuff
Mm,
without ever addressing any of the other stuff that was in it, and so it's like, that's, you're really missing the point of why I'm doing this.
mhm.
The
But I'm
point.
sorry if I ask you, like,
Yes,
once you had this data,
yes.
what did you do with it?
Well, once I had it, so I again, I use Claude. I use Claude to summarize. I use Claude to, because I have two different forms, right? I use Microsoft Forms, and what happens is there's a visual part to it, and then there's the Excel sheet, which is all the raw data.
Yeah, what I meant is like, so you have the data, you
Yes,
have the graphs, you have everything ready.
yes.
With that thing, what
Mhm.
did you do with it?
Through Claude, I went through summarization. Now I have to do, to clearly explain. I do through two parts. I have to translate for two parts. One is for Rumble, right?
Mhm.
I give them an executive summary of that month, right? And then I translate for everyday folk, right? So I
Okay.
don't, I use the same information, but I don't translate the same for either end, because there's some tech things that people may not care about or understand. But if you
Mhm.
put in a way for the everyday man to understand,
Yes,
help again using
sure.
Claude, that's what it's saying. So that you'll see, like, I've posted the publicly. I've posted the links to both the visual and the Excel sheet, so people can go through and make their own mind up, because that's
Mhm.
the transparency part.
Yeah.
But basically, I do the summarization for both ends, because you got two very different types of people, and you want to make sure that that clearly comes across of what data has been collected for that month. Now, again, I'm doing this, not an expert, using the tools I have available.
Yeah.
But again, I know people need to see something, right?
And did you
Rumble's not.
send it to Rumble, like, did for them to check it out?
I don't have a direct link.
Me
I
neither. I'm just doing stuff on X and I hope they see it.
I do through second or third party,
Mm.
through who I've met through this, right?
Maybe try and reach out. Now they have the ambassador for the gaming. Try to reach out to them. They're like super nice guys.
I did to one of them, because I've had one of them. Actually, I've had three of them on my show before, but
That's
I've
cool.
reached out to one of them to kind of send through. But again, the part of listening is on Rumble, because they've got a ton of other stuff, and I'm the little whatever they want to call it. But the point of the matter, though, is the other part of that, right? It's the part for the everyday person to see this data, the visuals that go with it, the graphs and all this stuff, to
Yeah.
see that, and then say, "Oh, I'm not alone in this," right? Because that's where that frustration lies too. Is that only one time I know of that Rumble did a survey and they used Google Forms, and I'm
Mhm.
like, seriously? You're gonna use your competitor's stuff to take a survey? That's why I use Microsoft, because it's not a competitor. It's an OS builder. It's not a video hosting site.
Yeah.
The point of the matter is, though, my ordeal in doing all of this is because I know people need to see something. I know you guys out there, you need to see something visual. Rumble's not going to give it to you to the degree you want it to. I probably don't give it to the degree that you want it to, but you get something out of it. Your feedback gives a visual that you'll probably have a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm not alone in that," or "I didn't know that," or so on and so forth, because scattershot voices become voices that can be believed that's the majority issue. Yeah, I have this data that I can point to say, like, great example. A lot of people have asked for channel points, right? Because of
Yeah.
Twitch and all that stuff. I can point to my survey and say that's probably like the fourth or fifth thing people want from Rumble at this point in time. And instead of that just being a guesswork, which it can be, right? Just based on hearing people and all this stuff, the point of the matter is I have data that backs me up and says you may want to stay your expectations, because there's other things like platform stability and content discovery that are more important than, say, channel points. And the infrastructure for channel points is tremendous, so that might take a while. But again, this is not a professional thing. I've talked to people who've helped. I've had some help from testing the surveys and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I just know that people need to see something visual, and that's what I'm trying to give, because I know Rumble's not going to do it, and they don't have to because they're business, whatever. But I know that the importance lies there, and whether Rumble listens to me or not, I will say this: on April's survey stuff, I had posted everything out that I had summarized to the everyday person on April 28th, right? Again, platform stability, content discovery were the biggest things. May 2nd, Chris Pavlovsky puts out a tweet saying they're working on platform stability. Not making connections here. I'm just saying it's very weird that that's the case. And then come, I think, sometime in June, he was saying like, "Oh, we're almost there for platform stability. It's almost done with." I'm like, yeah, I over a month's time. That's a little something. But again, I've been there. I understand the frustration, anger, and that's what I'm doing with it, is turning into this. So whether it's perfect or not, I don't know, but it doesn't matter. I know what people need, and I'm trying to do it the best I can.
I mean, and that is something that you're doing for free, of course, and it's useful as well. But I'm pretty sure some stuff like they know as well, and they
Mhm,
want to fix it too,
mhm,
because they think I mean they want Rumble to be better than what it is today,
mhm,
and I do it. I um
mhm,
even locals, for example, that is something I do not fully understand.
mhm,
But again, it's like I have the feeling that we are just the beginning, and when it's there's beginning, they try and do stuff the other companies are doing, and then eventually adjust stuff slowly over
mhm.
time.
Right.
So I think again, there's a list of priority they're going. This is just me guessing because I have no idea. I've had no contacts. People think I work for Rumble sometimes. It's just not. I don't. Trust me. If that was the case, I wouldn't be doing stuff for free online.
Yeah.
So I'm not. I'm not working for Rumble,
Yeah.
but I can see the potential on the platform. I see because I see one thing that the other platforms don't have.
Mhm,
Like I'm talking about the gaming community, for example. Like the community gaming,
mhm,
it's the best community you can find out there in relation to gaming. On YouTube, there's not something. It's not the same thing. You can build a community like we have on Rumble right now, and that's powerful. And
yeah.
that will actually become one of the main reasons I think why Rumble will succeed in the future. And what I think is that's very useful.
Mhm,
but most of the stuff is probably stuff they already know, and
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure they're working on. But going back to what I was saying before,
Mhm.
it's not like you go and in the office and you say, "You fix this, you fix that." It's a public trading company, so
Mhm.
everything they do
Mhm.
needs to be addressed,
Mhm.
explained.
Yeah.
There needs to be a reason.
Mhm.
Somebody has to do executive summary on why we have to do it, showing the numbers, what could be the good improvement for
Mhm.
something like this, and then they have to run it through the board, and the board have to approve it. It's not that easy.
Yeah.
So platform stability is a big deal because if users come to the platform and the platform is not stable,
Yeah.
they leave. It's pretty
Yeah.
much that's it.
Yeah.
But I also think that what creators like you do the research stuff that you're doing. I think that's super cool that you're doing it.
Mhm.
Other creators as well are trying to improve the platform. That's actually super useful because you are helping the platform by yourself at the end of the day.
Mhm.
Like for me, if I do some stream and I share content, business content, or ways to monetize your channel,
Mhm.
I said already on my X, probably hopefully by the end of this week, I will offer people will be able to make more money
Mhm.
on Rumble as well.
Right.
This is something that moves stuff
Mhm.
because when you have money coming in and new signups and new users, then they will start listening and say, okay, we have to prioritize this.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, most people don't even use the product. I think Chris does.
Mhm.
Or maybe other people don't even care about using, they just want to make money.
Yeah.
And since they don't use it, they're not aware of the issues.
Mhm.
They're not aware of the community. They're not aware of why that is a big issue because they're maybe just used to YouTube, even if maybe they don't use YouTube. Just there's so many things that we don't know,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure they will fix stuff. So that's why I think going back what Glenn was saying, like people on Twitch don't even know what Rumble is. It's a
Mhm.
good thing right now because we are actually not ready. If tomorrow Twitch goes away and everybody moves to Rumble,
Yeah.
everybody think, oh, that would be amazing. That would be a nightmare
Mhm.
because you have only one shot with first impressions.
Oh yeah.
If you fail in doing that, people are not coming back. There's so much stuff on the market
Yeah.
every single day. People find new stuff, new apps, new social media, new concept.
Mhm.
Because again, the time we're living in, AI now, like you can create an app in 2 weeks.
Jeez.
It took like months and years before.
Mhm.
Like the app I'm making right now for one of the things that I'm doing, it probably would take 2 years to build. It's
Mhm.
been 3 months and I'm almost done. It's like it's completely new, different
Yeah.
time you're living in.
Mhm.
So if you fail the first impression,
Yep.
people don't come back.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty much it. So I really hope they fix the stability is the first thing.
Yeah.
Like a video platform cannot have video stopping every 2 seconds
Yep.
or the buffering issue or
Mhm.
if I have to rewatch my content. I understand processing. Even
Yeah.
on YouTube, you have that, but
Yep.
it needs to be faster. They have the cloud.
Mhm.
I don't know what it is. It doesn't work, but it doesn't make sense. They have like the cloud and
Mhm.
the videos are not playing on the platform.
Yeah.
It's just, it just doesn't make to me doesn't make sense. I don't know the technical aspect of it,
Yeah.
but I think they'll fix it.
Yeah.
Rumble Wallet will be another thing that will be cool, I think, even for us to be
Mhm.
paid. So it will take time.
Yeah.
So just again, going back to the beginning, if you're doing this just for the money and just because you want to be famous or you want to have 50,000 subscribers in 2 days,
Mhm.
you won't last because
Mhm.
this platform is not it right now.
No, and I mean, again, even on YouTube, again, Twitch and YouTube are oceans compared to Rumble, which is a lake. I mean, yeah, it's just a lake, but people are so used to what the other two offer that they come over to Rumble and say, "This is crap,"
Hmm.
because I can't do again. That's the gathering data part. That's looking at these people who are coming from YouTube or Twitch, looking at what they say, okay, instead of saying, well, you should do this, this, and this, and you'll be better. Because the whole thing, just before we go off the kind of my break point, the whole thing with the whole OBS stuff and all that, a lot of people are not technically uh into it, like say Tomby or other people. They don't care. They wanna click and play.
Yeah.
It's basically it. And Rumble doesn't have that.
Right now, well, right now with RTMP, yes.
Yes, but that's more of a workaround. It's not a solution for the actuality. Because if you're just this Rumble Studio, right?
Yeah.
You compare it to the other broadcasting software like StreamYard or Restream, whatever, they're missing some things. And it sucks when you say, hey, why don't you try Rumble Studio? I can't share a screen with everyone on it. I can't
Mm.
even change the layout. I can't do this. First impressions, right?
Yeah.
So,
to be honest, that is different. I think it's that personal preference. For example, for me, my main concern is quality.
mm,
So I want people to enjoy the game while I'm playing. So having like high quality stream.
mm,
And the fact that I can stream I tried up to until 90, but then my PC was unable to keep up. So having the option to be able to stream in 4K, 30 FPS, which I did, for me is a game changer because I can stream in high quality.
yeah.
But I see your point is like, because it's two different type of creators. Like the gamer is
Mm,
one type,
mm,
and if you're doing podcasts, if you're doing interviews or whatever it is, it's completely different what you need. You don't care about quality. 1080
yeah.
is more than enough.
Yeah.
You care about layouts, you care about transitions, you care about the sharing the screen, maybe
Mm,
putting stuff on the screen, whatever it is.
mm.
So
Everyone has, again, that's for my surveys, creator perspective, viewer perspective. Both have different sides of the equation of what they
yeah,
want from the platform. You most likely won't find that with other platforms because Google this, Amazon that. But before we go any further, it is the top of the hour. And so what I do is I set aside some time for us to promote ourselves. Because sometimes I have people on who are creators and sometimes who aren't. So that's a different setting. But I did, let me check first. I did put your stuff. Let me check. Yes, your Twitter, X, and your Rumble. But if you want to sell yourself as a businessman you are, the floor is yours.
I appreciate that. I don't have things for sale. I just want to, like, if you're interested in learning some stuff related to business as well, I am planning to share with you guys in the future my new SaaS app that I've created.
Oh,
And I want to share how I'm launching it on the market. So
nice.
maybe that's a cool idea to see if I'm going from zero to the first dollar. So I mainly share gaming
Mm-hmm.
and then business because people the feedback that I got from that is good. So people tell me they enjoy my business stuff as well. I just did it for fun and people enjoyed it, so I would do some business too sometimes. But I'm not selling merch. I'm not selling um, what else? 3D cartoons of myself. Um, yeah, I don't have that stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, Nothing bad doing it. I mean, I don't. There's nothing bad if you want to sell merch or whatever. Just don't do it. I just want to give back to this community.
Mm-hmm.
The more I can. That's it, pretty much.
Well, promoting yourself is basically the line. Selling yourself is more of just like a
Oh,
joke on the
X.
selling yourself. So like prostitutional stuff. No, not
Go on
that.
X and Rumble. That's it. Link in description. Follow,
Yeah,
subscribe.
links in the description again. He's like he said, he's got an app thing. Is the
It's gonna be free. It's gonna be free.
okay? So that's more like a side thing for Rumble, that AI thing that you're making. The AI with ChatGPT and all that stuff.
Yeah, that is something that I wanted to create for us.
Mm-hmm.
It plugs in with your Rumble APIs. They're real time,
Mm-hmm.
and it gives you live um, like AI summaries, sentiment, and chat as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see what is happening in chat if you want to have a summary, end of stream summary,
Mm-hmm.
actionable steps to improve your stream as well.
Mm-hmm.
X posting without posting on X, but creates the post you can actually copy paste on X.
Wow.
And then at the end, you have your AI companion that you can create with a specific voice that you want to clone using another AI tool called 11 Labs, which is
Nice.
the biggest in the voice space related to AI, so you
Mhm.
can clone anybody's voice. I would recommend doing that, but you can do that. And use Dr. Disrespect voice in your streams with a little like thing in your stream that moves while he talks.
Yeah. See, now everyone's gonna be like, "Oh man, I should do that Italian CEO's voice."
I have my
But
voice cloned. Let me know if you need it. I just sent it to you.
just make sure he gets a 5 or something so we can get paid for it. But anyway, but yeah, his links are down below, and of course, thank you, Neuro, for all that. Of course, for my end of things, whether you're on the Rumble side or YouTube side, because I do stream to both, I do put content on both because I'm one of those people that doesn't, as time goes on, does not believe in one platform only because Twitch and YouTube have proven being on one platform is a death, basically. And I've seen that. So I'm on multiple places, but whether you're on the Rumble side or YouTube side, doesn't matter, whichever. Uh, if you give a like or share the content or leave a comment or follow, anything that helps the engagement factor is much appreciated because not only does it help in being seen more, like all content creators want to be. I mean, honestly, there's so many out there. It's almost like an ocean in itself. The point of the matter is, though, it also helps with having other people on, like the Italian CEO, like Tom B, like many other tech people I've talked to. The creator of Rumble Labs, I've had on here. Got to talk to him and all that sort of stuff. So I've had those conversations too. This thing came out of trying to figure out what to do because I didn't know what to do with this thing. But I enjoy it to the hilt because it basically feels like a lost art that's just not around very much anymore, or it's taken over by something else, whatever you want to call it. So any help with the engagement factor on either Rumble or YouTube is much appreciated. Of course, taking that off. Let's see. I know he posted. Here you go. I also have a link down below. Take you to my Twitter X. Has a link to my email. Has a link to Discord, but it's mostly for DMing. I not one of those people who's going to make a Discord server because it's just so much mental bandwidth. I do a full-time job and this, and I'm going to put in the work that I enjoy doing rather than putting in the work because at a certain point, you're just like, no.
No, Discord is a nightmare.
Yeah,
Same.
I just, there's just too much work.
Like Lam, she has a Discord. She's in like they're like managing it and doing all the stuff. So I would appreciate what she does, but for me, it's a nightmare. Like I can't do that too. I'm gonna explode.
Nah, my brain is already frying enough as it is.
Yeah, yeah.
but
It's like
any,
you want to talk to me? I come in your Discord.
give me the link.
Give me the
Uh,
link. Yeah.
But there is one more thing. So a while back, I did say I'm part of the creator program on Rumble, and of course, next month they have added another requirement.
Yep.
So we'll see how long it lasts. But I'm going until I can't last anymore. I'm not worried. I can grow with or without the creator program. No issue for me. But there's also another partner program a program I'm part of. A while back, Proton. If anyone doesn't know, they have Proton Mail, Proton VPN, all that stuff. They had they were promoting a post on Twitter X of being part of their partner program. Now, obviously, I didn't think anything of it. I just wanted to try and see if I could get in and see what I can do with it. It's not about the money. It's more of I use the product and I promote it because I use it and I believe in its benefits. But I went in for it. I got back 24 hours later and he said, "You're in." And I'm like, "Are you sure about that?" So that was like, dang it. But I try my best with it. So anyway, there's a link down below on both the Rumble and YouTube side. I'm just promoting the Proton Mail one because that's the one I use most on VPN. Password manager I use more, but I'm just doing one because less stress on the brain. Proton Mail, you can go to the link. I did do like a show of it yesterday. You can go there. They have a free account. They have a paid account. You get more with a paid account. What it does is a few things that I'll tell you about is one, it's very good at not having spam come to you. So if you have AOL, iCloud, Gmail, especially if you're on YouTube, you have to have a Gmail. You get spam up to the hill, just like 0 to like 60 in a few seconds. With Proton, however, very rarely will you get a spam. Sometimes you might get one and it'll tell you it's phishing or whatnot, but they're very good at having like a keeping a majority of that away because it is ridiculous out there. And to be honest, spam leads to scams, which lead to billions and billions of dollars lost from America every year. There's a channel on YouTube called Payback Scammers that's dedicated. And the funny thing is, though,
I watched them.
the funny thing is though, is that a majority of the scams come from India.
Yep.
Take that as you will. Another part of
Well,
what
listen, it's not just, it's India. Sometimes people get offended. It's just, is this the reality of the things?
Mhm.
Yes. Am I racist? No, I'm realistic. So it's, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. But yes, it's mostly from India.
Yeah, and it's pretty funny watching Payback Scammers because they really do go hard sometimes. But the the other part of it is too is that Proton allows you to use an alias email. What is that? It's sort of like having a copy of yourself. Uh, you can use on any wherever you put your email in for a business or whatever. But if that business starts to get a little spammy, gets a little too intrusive or whatever, guess what? You can just delete that, and you won't get anything from there anymore because all it does is redirect that, but it's not your real email. It just directs to your real email. Once that's gone, how do they know who you are? Right? The other point of the matter is that your inbox is your inbox. Right? There's no ads on there. Even the free, there's no ads. They're not scanning like Google does. They'll scan your inbox to make specialized ads of the stuff. So they don't do that. Again, you can go to the email, not email, you can go to the link. You can see a whole bunch of other stuff they'll give to you, more technical, because I don't really think a lot of people care about technical, to be honest, but I do think those three things I mentioned are worth it. And again, checking it out or not, they have a free part. And again, I can make something from it, but I do it because I believe there's a benefit that everyone can benefit from. And again, I'm not here because I'm the best seller in the world or whatever. I just know that, like, if you I'm pretty sure you remember Billy Mays, right? OxyClean, all that sort of stuff. Okay, he was one of those infomercial guys,
Okay.
and one thing he would say is that he wouldn't promote a product he didn't use.
Yeah.
That's what I do with Proton. So check it out. If it's worth it to you, it's worth it to you. If it's not, that's okay. I just want to promote it because it's beneficial. Sorry it took so long, but yeah, I'm still surprised every day that I got it. So there's that.
You know what I like? You know what I do? Now you
What?
laugh. So, what is one thing that all the like marketing emails have in common?
They're trying to sell you something?
Yes. Let's say let's put it this way. What is then one word that all the emails marketing have in
Ooh,
common?
dang it. I think it's something like an urgency or
No, it's way easier than that. You're thinking too deep.
see, that's my problem. I think too more deeper than that. Um,
It starts with the U.
okay. I see what you're saying. It starts with the yeah.
So it's unsubscribe.
Yeah.
So every email has, if you want to unsubscribe, click here.
Mhm.
So you create a smart box in your email
Mhm.
that has the rule
Mhm.
that all the email containing the word unsubscribe
Mhm.
go there. So every once a day, you just clean it up.
Jeez Louise. Yeah, that's why I like Proton because I don't get those spammy things that I get
Yeah,
from
well, Proton that does for you, but if you want to do it,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
have fun, you can do that too.
Yeah. Unsubscribe doesn't always work. Yeah, that's true. You can always unsubscribe from the thing and they always come back.
Exactly. Sometimes it's not even a link that brings you to other stuff. So
Yeah. It's
just all the email works. Now there's also as a tool that you can connect with the AI.
mhm.
It's cool. You can connect it, and the AI replies to emails for you.
Oh yeah, that's the Kip Boga thing where he's made like the using AI bots to do the calling. It's
That
another
is one thing.
yeah.
Actually, funny enough, I know of the founder on the biggest company does this. It's called Thoughtly. It's
Mhm.
always hard for me to pronounce.
Mhm.
And they do outbound and inbound calls with the AI. It sounds like a human. Takes
Yeah.
appointments and do stuff. It sells stuff as well. But no, this one is called Make.com.
Make.com. Okay.
It's like an automation website where you can create automation. So you
Mhm.
can connect it to your Gmail, whatever Proton mail, whatever email you have, train it with yourself,
Mhm.
and say, when you receive these emails, reply. So you don't have to take care of it. It does it for you.
Yeah. But that's, I mean, again, watching over the stuff that like payback scammers does, it's a really sad state of affairs because majority of the people that get robbed basically are elderly or people who don't know anything about that. Like,
That's why we need to build this stuff for them.
yeah,
Like if you put an AI there and you know exactly how they do it,
mhm,
you filter that stuff out, they won't even reach them.
yeah.
That's why we need to do that.
Because there was a while back where I live in Indiana in
Mhm.
the United States. So there's a while back where I got an email like iCloud, and it was like, oh, from the Indiana government, whatever, was saying, oh, you owe tolls and all this stuff, and I knew it was kind. I that the little ping in my head said that's probably a scam, and I used Claude to kind of say, hey, Claude, can you look at this and say it's a scam? And it says yes, it's a scam, but there are a lot of people who don't, and it it isn't a fun thing when you hear when the whole debate about the HB1 thing was going on. I'm like, do you really want to import all the scammers from a country that scams you?
Yeah, it's like, to me, it's just a matter like of being ahead of these guys.
Yeah.
Um, I did it from my grandma before she passed.
Mm,
Um, as well for my grandfather, like he's still alive, and I did it for him in Italy. Uh, because I really hate this stuff.
mm,
There's also a lot of people in India and Pakistan as well. They're really good people,
yeah.
and they just have, and they hate those people as well because they're scamming and everything else. They're not putting a good name on the country. So
Yeah.
that is also, man, 90% of them are like doing that. So
Yeah.
yeah, that is the good. That is the problem. You just assume everything is it's a scam, but the problem is they're getting so good in doing it. Like they almost tricked me with Facebook because I was doing ads on Facebook for something,
Really?
and they sent me an email looked like Facebook telling me my account was suspended because my ad was not confirmed to terms and conditions.
Mm,
And I was selling, something like I don't remember, something related to e-commerce,
mm.
and I'm like, that's weird. I didn't receive any other emails. My account seems still live, but they almost got me. They send you to log in, and I almost did it. So they're getting good at it. So you're not clicking on parte. Yeah. So it's just. Can you screenshot that, please? And send it to me later, so I can use it in my streams as well. I'm gonna
Get
have like a scene that
done.
just has this screenshot of her telling me this. She's always making fun of me.
Yeah, no, I screenshot it. I'll give it to you in your DMs later. So,
Nice,
haha, you
nice,
can't get away now.
nice.
But no, it's just and they're doing their thing part like payback and Kit Boga. But the real issue is that yes, it is true not to paint the whole country as that because
Yeah,
like you said, there are good people who don't want that. It's just they they get screwed over by those bad people and there's part like China's involved too. There's a part of where China's involved because I've listened to some of pierogi is
yeah.
the guy, pierogi
Pierogi. He's
stuff.
in Rumble too, huh?
He is.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. See, now
When
let's
Doctor move over, he came because he's a big fan of Doctor. So when Doctor move over, he move over too.
again.
Discovery. I know. I agree. Because I will watch Rumble as well. You know what I mean? It's like a platform that I'm creating on, so I would love to do it,
Mm,
but I just don't. I agree with you.
mm,
I stick around because everything we just said.
yes.
But if I'm a new person and say, "Oh, let's see this cool platform," and I start watching someone and the thing just freezes, I leave.
Yeah.
You know.
It,
But
it,
yeah, he's on Rumble.
yeah. I love to. Is it under Payback Scammers or another name?
I think he is Payback Scammer.
Let me look it up because I don't always watch this stuff even oh, yep, I see it.
He's a good guy.
Wow. Almost 20. Yeah, he still uploads. I know uploaded videos don't get a whole lot, but
But he
yeah,
does it. I think he also does live streams on here.
uh yeah, there's some that are live streams, but yeah, and I'll just give me 1 second. I'll show for people who don't know what I'm talking about. This is Payback. This right here is Pierogi.
This guy's
He
yes, it's a good
he
guy.
works I believe he owns a company that's basically all they do is this. All they do is this. And he works with some other people who do this sort of thing too, like Nanobator and a bunch of other people who are hackers in the word. But this really is sort of that saying, see a need, fill a need. Because
Mm-hmm.
I don't think before Pierogi there was anyone doing this sort of thing. And this is the more important stuff because this is just downright awful of what happens.
Mm-hmm.
People get scammed out of a couple thousand, even a couple 10,000 or so, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just fascinating. And of course, they set up a fund like for people who get scammed and stuff, and they try to get that money back, and they do try to uploads get no views. Yeah, again, that's the content discovery thing. I know.
Yeah.
I hope they get that up. Yep, buffering keeps me from using it more.
Mm-hmm.
Understandable.
There you go.
But yeah, if you guys want to check out Pierogi and his group and all stuff, because he does have a team, they're really worth it because they are doing something. Hey, Vent, how you doing? Nice to see you again. The call center killer. Have a good one.
Yeah.
You
This
too,
guy does.
Vent. Yeah, Vent. I've had Vent on too. He's actually he's from Philadelphia, and he actually works with Rumble as well. So he's a pretty cool dude.
Hmm.
But yeah, I would. This is one of those people I would promote just because of the work he does, and they do. There are times where Pittsburgh. Well, it's in Philadelphia. I apologize. Okay, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. I apologize. Pennsylvania. I'm sorry. I apologize, man. But it's funny because they jank people around. They jank these people around with voice changers, with all this
Mm-hmm.
sort of stuff. It's hilarious, but it goes to show you how how awful it is.
Even when he pretends, the thing that gets me the most, that makes me very upset,
Yeah,
is when he pretends that he's crying.
yeah,
He's pretending he's an old grandma, whatever the part is that day.
yeah,
And these guys don't care. They have no empathy. They're just like, yes, mom, but give me whatever they're asking.
yeah,
They just don't care
yeah.
because I think they're like brainwashed in a way
Mm,
where they tell them these guys don't need that money. You need the money.
yeah.
So that's why they're actually organized in a sale structure because they
Mhm,
have the opener and they have
mhm,
the closer.
yep.
And it's so weird to see like business applied to these things
Mhm,
because that is the problem like of information. Like if you have the information, you have the knowledge, it's all a matter how you use it. You can
mhm,
use it for good, you can use it for bad.
yep.
In this case, is the a classic example. They're not using it for the right reasons. And the
Mhm,
thing that annoys me the most is like the government as well. When they try and do stuff, they don't care because they're all corrupt and they into it as well.
mhm,
So it's just yeah, it's just annoying to see. And that is for example, one thing with AI will get even worse because they can clone voices. They're
yep.
already starting doing that.
Mm,
Um, and for now, there's no tool to combat that. But I hope we will some smart dude in the future will create something like that because we need that.
yeah, and 412. There you go. Nice view event. Um, yeah, it's just oh crap. There was something you said I was going to talk on. The worst part about it is though is that they will take that information, that private, all that stuff, and there's no protection.
Hmm.
That stuff that they'll wildly just take it down and use it for whatever, and that stuff could get beyond them, and it could get even worse. It's that horrible.
Yeah.
And for them to go out and do what they do and expose it, that's incredible because there are times where I don't know if he's talked about gotten hacked or whatever, but I mean, stuff where he's probably been gotten to or close to scam wise. But it's just this interesting fascination where it's sort of it's trying to show people that it exists and also trying to find a better way of help prepare people in combating it, because the best first step of anything is the knowledge to say, hey, this email has come, or this weird voicemail or whatever comes and is stating its thing or whatever. pause, look, and if something feels wrong, don't.
Hmm.
Right? You know, you can use AI to kind of discern if it's a scam or not, or some kind of phone thing. You just leave it alone, because that's the thing for me is like if I don't recognize the phone number, I'm not going to answer it.
Hmm.
And you wait for the email, you wait for the voicemail
Voicemail.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a smart way to do it. But for email stuff, it's a bit trickier because sometimes you don't know. Peking Trace, and he has a great YouTube channel. I can, I'm not sure he's on Rumble, but he has a great. I can look into it. Again, there's a lot of people I can hit up for next month. Look, like the more people that follow me on Twitter X, the more options I have of people coming on, and they're not all creators. That's the best part about it. But again, just finishing off, I really think there's a great group to follow because they're doing good work that I think is one of those things you just feel wanting to support because it sucks to be on that receiving end. Whether it be you or an older family member, like you say with your grandfather and your grandma, it sucks. And when you're on the outskirts, seeing that happen, or you come in after the fact, it can be devastating, very devastating. And yeah, you gotta feel sorry for the people that get hit because
Yeah.
it just sucks. Um, but yeah, but no, I've just watched their stuff and it's just been hilarious. But yeah, and not everyone from India is a bad person, but it doesn't help when, like you said, your government is corrupt and they do little to nothing. And even when watching payback scammers, right? There was one point where they were trying to get the government to like, hey, can you do
Yeah.
this?
They
And
don't
can
do
you
it.
do
They don't care.
Yeah,
Or maybe they say they do it, but then they just go back to do, well, maybe a month. They just don't do whatever.
yeah,
They go back to it double the amount of damage they were doing before.
mm, mm-mm, yeah,
That's just the reality of having money and being able to pay people in a country where money is not accessible to most people, unfortunately.
yeah. And there are a lot of and again, even and no matter where you are, not even India, but people who need it,
Yeah.
right? Like people who take drugs or whatever. Like there are probably some good there are probably some crackheads out there that are pretty good at selling too, just for the wrong reasons.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, those kind of people would when someone's desperate enough for money, you begin to see a change in things. And I think that's what's been maybe the thing was COVID too, but I think that's been more prevalent in like the OnlyFans and all that stuff, especially like on Twitter X, you see a lot of them where it just seems like for them it's the more easier option, even if a majority of them probably never make it to the tip top. And it's just like it shows that psychology where humans take the path of least resistance because it's
No,
true.
yeah, because it's easy.
Yeah, yeah, and it's a very interesting, but it's also a sad thing too because a lot there are some who get out of it, very few, but the ones who don't, they keep going at it because they want that sort of easy money. I mean,
Mhm.
again, you could maybe look at content creation and say that, but it's not really. Um,
Like I was saying before, the problem is like you have to think about all these things. This is like the cause, the issue, the root issue. Um, is what I was saying before. The wrong dream of money being the best thing ever.
mhm,
It's not true. And people probably, the problem is that most people won't be able to achieve
mhm,
enough money to understand what money isn't.
mhm,
And so they think they're not making enough money. So they
mhm,
want to make more
yeah,
and they make their life more miserable.
mhm,
And when they wake up, maybe it's too late because maybe their health is not 100%,
yeah,
you know? And that's sad because, uh, again, if you're happy with $2,000 a month,
mhm,
you win. You don't need
mhm,
a sports car. You need a nice apartment. You don't need to go to fancy restaurants. You don't need, it's again, it's nice.
mhm,
I get it. It's nice. But once you do it once, that's it.
yeah,
There's nothing more. Like if you go to a nice restaurant once,
yeah,
you did it. That's it. A Michelin star, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You did it. That's it. That's the same thing across the board for all the other restaurants. Maybe the experience a bit different, but that's it.
Yeah.
The only thing I maybe understand is the flight thing if you go on airplanes.
Yeah.
Because once you go on business, then it's hard to go back to economy. So that is that is one thing that I would say. But for the rest, like, it's not worth it. It's
Yeah.
just you need to go and go out and do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Try and make other people happy
Yeah.
and be kind to one another. I think that is the only thing that I think is it matters.
Yeah. Well, I think the other part too is, and I've had this said this before, is there's also the so this is the easiest way to describe what the content creator sphere. The content creator sphere is like high school drama with business implications. And when you're going to create, want to be someone who create content, and there's a lot of them out there, right? There's a lot of teens or people, whatever, like, how do I get started and all this stuff. And I
Yeah.
understand that. Look, I'm not going to downplay that, but I really, for me, and I've posted a short about this a while back, I really want people to take a step back and think why they want to create first. My reason is, if you don't have that actual reason, that core reason of why you create, then you're just building a house of cards that will fall.
Yes.
And that's an issue, especially if you enjoy what you're doing. Like we've been talking about, if you enjoy what you're doing, then that doesn't matter. But if you don't have that core reason of why you're doing any of this, then the money aspect can go raw because you're disappointed not making enough. Um the drama that either you come into by accident or purpose will berate you. And I believe me, I've stepped into few, nothing I've created at all, just talking to people, and all of a sudden I'm in the middle of this weird thing. I'm like, what's going on here? Why is this even happening? And you have to learn how to handle those things. Look, it's not all bad. And I've stated this many times. Content creation is not all bad, but you need to understand what you're signing up for, even if you aren't signing up for it. And that's something that I think a lot of people don't get, is you don't understand what you're signing up for, what you get into this. And you could be a small person. And that's fine. Again, create what you want. Don't listen to me because I'm somebody who just is giving my experience, the perspective of my experience. Have a core reason why you do this.
Yeah.
If you get caught in some form of drama, if you didn't create it, step away. And because you will by purpose or accident, you will get into drama, and it's not pretty.
Yeah. Like you said, like you need to have goals, like dashboard nomad is saying. But before having goals, you have to understand what makes you happy. Because you can have any goals you want. Like you want to make $2 million in 1 year. Cool,
Mhm,
that's a goal. But will make you $2 million make you happy?
mhm,
Most people say, yeah, it will make me happy. Are you sure?
mhm,
Like you need to know what is that makes you happy,
mhm.
why it makes you happy, and if you can make money be doing that. If not, how you can make enough money to support doing what makes you happy. And that's pretty much it. There's no number.
Mhm,
It's content creation as well. Like why you're doing it. You want to make money? Cool. Start a business first
mhm,
and then sell with content.
mhm.
You want to make it so you make friends? Have fun, you know? It all depends. Like there's no, again, going back to the 4:30 alarm clock and meditation and that bullshit.
Yeah.
Because then you do it and you feel like shit. It's like, "Oh, so why is it not working?" Like, you know what I mean? Doesn't make sense. I was doing it. I was like, why? Why am
Yeah.
I fucking doing this? I don't want to wake up at 4:30. I want to go back to bed.
Yeah.
Most people are the same. Trust
Yeah.
me. Even if they're lying, say, I did it for 2 weeks. I'm feeling amazing. No, it's not true. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. You
You
know?
liar.
Yeah. Like that's not true. So
Um,
yeah, I don't know. Because for small people, they think money is happiness. No, just find what makes you happy. Having a family or
yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah. The reasons are various, and that's the greatest part, is that they can be various. Like the reason why you do something, sometimes you have find someone who has similar or not. The point of the matter is it's various, but you really, for me, from my perspective, you really need a core reason before you step into content creation.
Yeah.
Because I if and I've used Claude for this before too, is if you don't really have the ability to step back from the computer and just take a moment, it is not going to go well for you. I'm just stating that as the truth right now. It's not going to go well for you. The content creator sphere is full of egoism, elitism. There's some good things too, but there are a lot of people who get their clicks and all this stuff. And the reason why I do this thing is because it goes beyond that regard of maybe tribalism, whatever you want to call it, because it gets you outside those things. Because a lot of the times, creators invite on creators. Majority of the time, not always, but majority of the time. You have creators, and for people who I used to watch on YouTube, you have people who would invite, who would either was in their niche, who would either up their status within the niche or outside that niche. You
Mhm.
know, sometimes, and their friends, more or less. And it's just like that's very. I'm not gonna say it's echo chambery, but it feels like the thing where you're not getting outside the bounds of what this thing is, the internet, video platforming, all the tools you can get from this. This has so much benefit, this has so much potential beyond the scope of just a camera and a light and a mic. It's the opportunity to reach across into the world to some degree, at least to people who can understand you, because some people may not, and that's okay too. But doing this conversational piece has allowed a door so open, so wide, and the possibilities are limitless. That's where my fascination comes from. That's where I want to go with it, because again, like I said earlier, not a lot of other people are doing it, and that's okay. Choose what you want to do. That's fine. But it's so open and so freeing, and especially when you're not, like, for me, like I was saying earlier with the creator program, if I don't make it after next month, that's okay. I still grow whether I'm in it or not.
Mhm.
It's not, many people treat it as it's more than, and that's fine. But for me, it's not the end of the world. And that's freeing. That's freeing when you're not tied down by those things. Uh YouTube, Twitch, all their sort of things as well. And you're so free that you can just reach out and say, hey, would you like to come on and talk about whatever? And sometimes they say yes, sometimes they say no, and they have a various different reasons. But it's so amazing, and it's so wonderful, and it's so just incredibly amazing that it makes me feel crazy, because I just don't see it very much anywhere else.
No, but look, like I agree with your point of view. Um, and most people, when they start having followers, they think they're better than other people,
Ugh.
and that is something I don't like. Um, and I think you should give a chance to anybody
Mhm.
if you have time, of course.
Yeah,
If
that's
that
always.
person aligns with what you want to do, of course.
Mhm.
But I don't believe like I have more followers than you, so I'm better than you.
Mhm.
Like I don't care about that stuff.
Yeah.
I would do this with you regardless of how many followers I have. To be honest, that is not something I don't judge a person based on how many followers that person has.
Mhm.
Like I was saying at the beginning, I'm just a curious person and like to to check out new stuff and talk to people because
Mhm.
I know firsthand with my first business or my first YouTube channel, which I
Mhm.
grew up to 20,000 people.
Mhm.
Um, it opened doors that you maybe right now you don't see, but in 6 months
Mhm.
you see. Like when I started my channel, I didn't have an idea that I.
Do you want me to screenshot that one too?
That you can actually delete it. Can you delete the comment?
We can't do that. We can't abuse power now. But sorry.
But yeah, so it's like, come on, there's a lot of people think they're better than you because they have followers or because they have more people in chat or whatever the case might be, depending on type of content you make.
Yeah.
That's not the metric. If you have fun, again, if you have fun, I have fun regardless if I have one person or 10 people or 100 people watching,
Mm.
because I like to interact with people anyways, and I'm not doing just for that.
Well,
No,
but
it's
the way
not
you.
true. It's not true. We all know that.
But Yeah, and again, I've heard those stories where it's like some, and now there's a time thing factor to like if everyone wants this person to come on, like I can only do so much. But you do, I've heard those stories where it's like you have to have a certain amount of followers or you have to pay that person to be on your show. It's like, what is that? What I get there's a time factor and you can't be on everyone's show because know like big people would ask, but like I have this big opportunity to go to anyone, whether they're big or small. It just depends on if they respond or not. And I could say, "Would you like to come on and converse about whatever?" Now, the part that does get people's, they do kind of, it's not confusion. It's sort of out of their field of things because majority of people are used to topic centered streams. You know, they're talking about
Mm.
entertainment, politics, whatever. My thing is not topic centered. It is, I guess it would be person centered, but the conversation itself is the topic. So that's a weird conundrum. But some people do get tripped up by trying to explain them, and they're like, "Wait a second, so there are no topics?" Well, I mean, we'll discover things along the way, and you might,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but they do gotta kind of get tripped up by that. But the point of the matter is for people's to understand that there's a freedom to it. And a lot of people, like you said earlier about interviews and stuff, I don't consider any of DaraChat an interview because my issue with that is when I think of an interview, I think of the movie stars interview. You've got somebody in a tie and suit interview. You've got all those formal interviews and all this stuff, and it's just like that. That feels constrained. Like I don't like a tie. I'll be honest with you. Like if I went to go for a resume and do a job and all this stuff, I don't like a tie because it feels very constricting. I'm just like, I'd rather have a clip on, pull off, be done with it.
Imagine doing business having tattoos on your hand.
Uh, some, I
People notice that. Like
yeah,
old school
yeah,
people,
yeah,
they notice that. But I agree with you. I don't like the tie either. But sometimes,
yeah. Sometimes,
if you want to do stuff, you have to confirm to what it is.
yes.
I have suits in my closet that
Mm.
don't fit me anymore. I spent $6,000 on them, and I look at them
Oh.
every day, and I can't wear them because I don't fit in them anymore. Uh, but that's the thing. You should be yourself. And if you don't like wearing a tie, if you don't like doing that, fortunately enough, we are in a time that you can actually have the choice.
Yeah,
Before that was not the case, and
yeah,
people were living according to the standard, according to what culture and other people were saying.
mhm,
But the opening of the internet information, the freedom of information, gives you the freedom to do and decide whatever you want to do, and then the results of whatever it is,
yeah,
it's up to you.
mhm,
um, but again, in some places, if you go even with the suit with tattoos on your hands,
mm,
they will look at you weird,
mm,
and so you have to do more work to be able to tell, like, to show them that
mhm.
the ideology they have is not true.
Yeah.
Because, for example, in Italy, there's the culture that only people in jail get tattoos.
Oh,
Like, if you
jeez.
talk to my grandpa, he
Mm.
thinks that I've been to jail. He
Ugh.
thinks like, of course, it's not true,
Yeah.
but that's the way they think. So even in China, for example, when I went there for meetings,
Uh-huh.
there's some cultural things that you need to be
Aware of.
doing aware of. Like, if they
Mm.
smoke at the table, you have to smoke with them.
Ugh.
If
Mm.
if they drink, you have to drink with them.
Ugh.
They order more food than what actually you can eat. Like, they keep ordering stuff because they have so many issues with food back in the day.
Yeah.
For them, ordering more is a show of, we are wealthy. So they're
Yeah.
all different things, and sometimes we have to confirm because we have to respect other cultures as well.
Yeah.
And nowadays, we are losing that. Like, most people, maybe younger people, not because we are old and we are wiser, but usually younger people, they think they're entitled for whatever they want to do whenever they want to do.
Mhm.
But it's not like, you should still respect culture and
Yeah.
the way other people think and the way other people behave.
Yeah.
So yeah, going back to your thing saying, I don't want to wear a tie, that make me laugh because sometimes you have no choice.
Yeah, and that's but more it's none of business. Why do you have tats? He's asking why do you have
Yeah, it's like, again, it's just culturally they think people with tattoos are not trustworthy.
mm.
And for me, having on the hands, even with the suit on, I
Mm,
can hide my arms and my other stuff, but on the hands is not that easy.
tats. Oh, of course.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Goodness, I didn't think I'd have a female thirster in the chat. Goodness sake. But no, I understand that. It's like it's sometimes it's sort of like it's sort of like when your parents. I don't know if you know this, but there's sometimes where kids would be taken to church, right, and they'd have to do in their Sunday best. You have
Yeah.
to be that kid told by your parents, okay, you got to get your nice pants and clothes on. It's sort of like that. It's against your will, but it's out of respect and all that other stuff. I'm trying to riz him up.
Yeah,
Yes.
she speaks like the young people. She was making fun of me because she thought I didn't know what "rids" means, but I do know. But you have to like understand. I grew up in another country where all the other sayings you guys have here, I don't know them, most of
Yeah.
them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's another language too. And some people that speak English, they grew up, you don't even know what "rids" means. So, you know?
Well, some people don't know what sick used to mean. Like sick used to be sick. The word sick used to actually mean something else. That's sick,
Yeah,
that sort of thing. Or rad.
it still does, no?
Not as much anymore, I don't think.
So you don't say "that's sick" anymore?
I've not heard anyone say it for quite some time on that regard. At least for
Okay.
that. Maybe they'll say I'm sick, but that's a totally different that's the true version of that word. But yeah, I understand that, and that's sort of the thing. Like again, you're like the kid going to Sunday church, and you gotta wear the nice stuff.
Yeah.
It is what it is, but for me, there's that part of being free to, and if you're able to create your thing, that at least frees you up from 90% of that kind of stuff, where you still have to do the 10%. It's a lot better than like having like 70-30 or 60-40, whatever it is,
Mhm.
because yeah, I just don't like ties. Well, one part of it is like you have to learn how to tie it and all that stuff and all that. So there's that too. But the point is that it's very, for myself, it feels like a very constrictor. And yes, I know it's a business thing. And again, you have to respect the culture and stuff, especially like you do a job interview, whatever. But it is for me a constrictive thing. Because I mean, I'm pretty sure there have been people who've gotten accidents and probably been killed by tie. I'm just gonna say that out loud right now. Not a lot, maybe a few, but
It's like a
beyond that point.
Pokemon, it kills you.
So how did Johnson die?
Mhm.
Well, he was shredding paper and
Was
his tie
killed by
got
this tie.
Yeah, that's gonna be another horror
But
story.
also going back to the culture, like if you wear a suit, people look at you differently.
Yes, that's true.
That is not something that they do it on purpose,
Mm,
but I've noticed that as well.
mm,
Like if I go somewhere with the suit is completely different, even you feel different
yeah,
because everybody associates the suit to something different in a
yeah,
good way. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's like so again. We can say all we want. We don't judge people. We don't what we do.
yeah.
Like the unconsciously. What do you
Like
say?
unconsciously, yeah,
Consciously, you
unconsciously,
do
yeah,
it. So
yeah.
suit, tattoos, ties, all
Mm-hmm,
these things. People look at that stuff, and the first thing they think about you when they see you is what you're wearing.
mm-hmm,
The way you present yourself.
mm-hmm.
Again, first impressions.
Yeah. Well, and and this also goes along with the saying of like, don't judge a book by its cover.
Discover. Yeah.
Everyone judges the book by the cover.
Yes.
It's
7
like,
seconds. That is the time they say it takes you uh for judge someone. 7 seconds.
yeah,
So you have 7 seconds each time.
yeah, and it's mostly about okay. Well, no, I'll have to recheck again because I only got remember the first one you sent me. Um, but yeah, it's sort of like that thing. I mean, again, uh, a suit when you wear a suit, it's kind of like a twofold. It changes the outlook from people seeing you, and it also changes the inner because it looks nice, and
Mhm,
people like things that look nice. Well, cute and nice, but it's sort of like that song, "A Sharp Dressed Man." You
mhm.
look and all that stuff. And I don't know about you, but I have seen those commercials where you have those bearded guys with the tattoos in suits, and they always look great, and women drool over them like crazy. All right, not all of them, but some of them. All right,
Yeah, that's changed.
yeah, a little
Changing.
bit.
It's changing. I mean,
Yeah,
it's definitely probably in 15 years you won't be having issues with that,
mhm,
but sometimes you still have the older people. If you walk into a room with tattoos on your hands, they will look at you weird.
yeah,
Still happens.
yeah, and you have like you were
And that's
talking about.
fine,
Yeah,
but then you change your mind because if you're a good guy, there's no tattoos, no tattoos is always, you know
mm,
what I mean? It's like at the end of the day, what it matters is who you are, not
yeah,
what you're wearing or what your, you know, what your choices are.
yeah, and I've always, I'm always interested. You talk about the business matter and how you know in dealing with like on a business end, talking to people. Whatever. I'm always interested in the psychology of it because it sort of becomes a, especially want a great example, The Art of the Deal, right?
Yeah.
And we can look at Trump and The Art of the Deal. That's the book. I know he's made other books, but there's The Art of a Deal, which is basically talking about what he does and all this stuff. So you do have that psychology. Oh, goodness. Inspect page. Um, yep. Uh, nope. All right.
What happened?
It was a 2 hour thing. So around the 2 hour mark, in Rumble Studio, this Rumble Studio, not RTMP. For some odd reason, he'll be back. Just refresh. If you see it, yeah, there you go. Yeah, just refresh. You'll be fine. What's wrong with Hello Kitty? There's nothing wrong with Hello Kitty.
There's everything wrong with Hello Kitty. What do you mean?
Hello Kitty is like the most well-known brand in the world. Sanrio is insane. Hello Kitty made Sanrio and all the other characters with it.
I don't want to sound Italian, but the most known brand in the world is Ferrari.
Ferrari. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not saying it properly. Well, there's Ferrari, and then there's well, I
Hello
mean,
Kitty. We
you
say
have
Hello Kitty. In Italy, we say Hello Kitty.
Hello Kitty.
Hello Kitty.
Um, but then oh, never mind. But yeah, so that is the 2 hour mark, around the 2 hour mark that
That's
people
weird.
have
Never
had.
happened to me. Like with this specific version, every 2 hours you have to refresh it.
It's not exactly 2 hours. What happens is it happens after the 2 hour
Oh,
mark.
no.
So
Oh, okay.
it happens sort of on the 2 hour mark, but it usually happens after. I've had it where it's happened close to 3 hour mark.
Mm-hmm.
The point of the matter is that I've been talking to support and they're working on it. And right now,
Yeah.
I had any and all the extensions I've had because I use Brave browser for my stuff.
Oh, I see. I see.
And you can add extensions or whatever. I disable all those.
Mm,
So it shows that with all the extensions disabled, it's not a me thing, it's a Rumble thing. And so they'll need to figure it out. But it's been happening since over 6 months now for that. And that's another issue with Rumble Studio is that needs to get fixed.
because you don't use OBS, you go straight from Rumble Studio.
Yes,
I
I don't
see.
use I've used OBS in the past, and I'd rather use Rumble Studio. But the problem, yes, win Brave, because right now Brave did this thing a while back where you could split view your screen. So on one screen, you can have two different tabs
Mm-hmm.
and all that. But yeah, it's again Rumble Studio, at least from my perspective, is not competitive with the other broadcasting software, and unfortunately that's what keeps it behind
Mm,
from other people using it. Now, I'm not talking about the direct RTMP. I don't have that.
yeah.
I don't use it. I'm not interested. But the regular one,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of stuff needs to be done, and they're working on it. They'll get there, but the right now part is what sucks. After 2 hours, Rumble boots Italian. Hey, it boots a lot more. I've had someone from Norway on, and it's booted them, so it
It's
happens more.
racist. Rumble Studio racist. News of the day.
Oh, whoo, Rumble being racist. That's not a good thing. I don't think we want that kind of.
No.
But yeah, it happens. But now I know it's nothing to do with my extensions. It's most likely probably their coding, And so hopefully with this, that'll take care of that. But you know what? It happened. We're back. We're good. But it is the top of the hour. So we're going to start winding down because one, I do need to set up for tomorrow's stream. And I also have to get up in the morning. So there's that. But before we do, we're going to do our stuff, the promoting stuff. And then I'll do a few more things. And then we'll end it off. So, sir, Mr. Italiano, if you'd like to promote your things, the floor is yours.
You can follow me on X and on Rumble.
Yes.
Simple, short, straight to the point.
Man, I wish I could do it like that, but I have my own issues. But yes, and his links are down below for both Rumble and YouTube. Again, I have my reasons of why I'm not a platform only, one platform only, and YouTube and Twitch have proven that point time and time again of why you're not one platform only. And I know it's kind of a silly thing because
Do you do X, by the way?
no, I do not. I really don't have much trust for X because of what they did to a previous account I had on
Mm,
a while back. So it's a different story, but another time for that.
okay.
But again, it's sort of the weird thing. Like when Asmongold was gonna start doing the whole multi-streaming thing, a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, it's like the biggest thing ever. I'm like, you're way behind the times.
Yeah.
you're way behind the times in that. But I kind of agree that people need to make a safety net rather than a singularity. But anyway, again, his links are down below, both ends. Give him a look. The guy's got a lot of knowledge, and he probably looks great in a sharp suit. But I digress. I digress. That's not going to be me saying it. That's probably going to be Glamour saying that. So be careful. Be careful. Look, you can say that you look good in a suit. There's stuff like that.
I'm pretty
Uh,
humble. I don't like to tell like I let the others judge.
yeah.
So if I look good in a suit and somebody tells me, then could be true.
That's a little too much, Glamour. That's a little too much. Look, I get you're a little thirsty, but we're gonna calm it down now. Put some ice water on yourself and calm it down, okay? Because you probably wouldn't want guys doing that to you. But yeah, I've always been fascinated though about like the difference between a bought suit versus like a tailored suit, like a fit suit, I think is what they call.
Yes.
Because those are more expensive.
But they're more expensive, but the way they fit, of course,
Mhm,
is way better
mhm,
and they last more. Because if you buy like a standard suit, you go out and you know your size and you just maybe adjust the
mhm.
what is called the feet, what it is like uh,
Yeah.
on they had the thing on the pants
Oh, okay.
and the come cazzo si
The
chiama?
cuff, like
Yeah,
yeah,
you
cuffs.
know, if
Yeah.
they adjust those two things in the
Mhm,
starter suit, that's one thing. But
mhm,
if you do like a custom made, it's completely different, of course, and it
mhm.
feels. That's why if you gain even like a couple of kilos, um, you can wear them anymore, and you just look at them in the closet. That's it. Say hi to them every morning. You say goodbye to them every evening. That's pretty much it.
There's just like it's just like you would have seen the closet opens and you just kind of like,
Yeah, it's like you because then you think of how much money you spend on them. It's like I can't even wear them. You know what I mean? It's like you can see them there and you can wear that. And you have to buy new ones because then your body's changing and everything.
see you later, fish. Star mix. That would make a great like short little film though. Just watching an Italian man look at all the suits because he no longer fits them anymore, and it's just like there's a tear. He turns away for a second to cry, but and then he looks at.
But at the end of the scene, he consoled himself by eating a slice of pizza.
and that's how it ends, and that's
Yeah.
hilarious. We've already made something. But
Now with VO3, just use this prompt and make the scene.
oh goodness, the whole Sasquatch and Stormtrooper things have been hilarious.
Yeah, that's
Um,
funny.
yeah.
See the alien interviewing people on the street?
No, I've only seen the Sasquatch and the Bigfoot and the Stormtrooper ones. That's the only ones I've seen so far. That's incredible though.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's amazing
but
to see.
but yeah, again, check out his links and see if he's worth a follow. I know there's a lot of content creators that say go follow this person, but I'd rather their stuff speak for them rather than me speak for them. Not as like a mean thing, but there is that thing where you want the person's stuff to sell themselves
Yeah.
in that sense. If that makes sense. But anyway, from my end of things, whether you're on the Rumble side or the YouTube side, either or, if you wouldn't mind, you wouldn't mind leaving a like, sharing the content, leaving a comment or follow. Anything that helps the engagement factor is much appreciated because not only does it help in being seen more, like all content creators, but it also helps in having other people on, like the Italian CEO, like Alaska Man Jeff, like Tom B, like Jason, Jacen from Norway, and so many other Alpha Zero Omega, who I've had on as well. So many people. At the end of the day, it's about conversation and connection. And yeah, there have been some people say, when I try to describe them to the show, they don't really understand. But more than that, DaraChat, and I sort of like a recent um what is it called? A recent epiphany, if you will, about what DaraChat. DaraChat is an experience, not an explanation. Because sometimes you have to kind of come on an experience for yourself what the show is about, rather than explain to you, because people get confused. They're not used to that sort of thing. But when you do come on, then you get it. And I've seen that happen many times. So that's what DaraChat is experience, not an explanation. So any help with the engagement factor on either end helps with all those things, and I appreciate it. And of course, thank you, Nero. You have a link down below on either end. You can go there. Find my Twitter act, you find my email, you find a Discord thing, mostly just for DMing, because I'm not like some of those people who can do Discord server stuff. I only have so much mental bandwidth. I gotta save it for wanting to do this show. So there's that. Because I do enjoy do this, whether or not it's a person that's like trying to draw water from stone, or it's someone who's just like flowing water. At the end of the day, this is what's more important. Everything else is a bonus for me. Of course, again, like I said earlier, Neuro, if you can bring up the Proton. Like I said earlier, I am part of the Proton Partner Program. I promote it because I believe in it and I believe it has benefits for all of you. Even if you just look at it and say, hey, it's not for me, guess what? That's okay. Yes, I can make a little money off of it, but that's not the point of why I got into it. Got into it thinking I wouldn't get into it, first off. And second off is because I use it on a daily basis and I believe it can be a benefit to you. Even if you just go for a free account, I believe it can be a benefit for you. And they have other products too, but the Proton Mail is just the one. So, but regardless, there's that. And of course, tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, I have on Venkman's girl, who I met through the Twitter X. Now, this person does follow a lot of other people in like on the more on the YouTube side, but I am gonna bring them on. I don't know if they create content or not, but that doesn't matter. What matters is, would they like to come on and have a conversation? That's the more important part. So they'll be on tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. And thank you, Neuro, for that. Of course, there's a link for the Proton down below on both ends. But the last thing I do with my guests before I go is I do this thing called Questions from a Hat. Now, a while back, I bought a hat from Rumble, right? You can buy it on their store. But I also have a bunch of questions in here. So
Cool.
so what happens is that my guest, you, get 2 freebie questions from it. Now, I will say that the highest that's been done so far has been 30 questions total.
Oh my God.
That was a week or two ago. Mostly one person was the one supporting it, but it was a fun time regardless. So I almost lost track at a certain point, but thank you, Nora, for that. But what happens is that you might get 2 freebie questions. However, I'm not monetized on YouTube, so sorry, YouTube. It is what it is. But on Rumble, I'm monetized. So if you'd like to have more than the 2 questions pulled out of that, you have to give a Rumble rant. Doesn't matter the amount. You just have to give a Rumble rant. Now, however, Vent gave a Rumble rant earlier, so that's 3 questions, because I do count that. So I'm going to pull from the first one. And some questions have tripped people up. Some are a little sillier than others, but we'll see what you get. All right. Here's the first question. Post-it note stickiness. Hold on. All right. I think we've already discussed this one, but you can reiterate if you want. What inspired you to create content?
On Rumble, Rumble? I guess.
Well, in general, let's just go with in general.
Lately, helping people. So I want to be useful, give people tools to empower them to make their content better,
Mhm,
to reach out to brand, make
mhm.
deals with brands. So I'm giving them all the tools to do that.
And it's a paying it forward in your own way, basically.
I like to pay it forward for free, of course, and I like to be kind because if it's like selfish in a way, it makes me feel good,
Mm,
making other people feel good. So
yeah,
that's what I like to do.
sort of like I know people say the whole a rising tide lift all boats, but that's not always the case. But for that, that is sort of the case. Well, some people will listen, some people won't. And there you go. Look at that. Be
Be
kind.
kind. Yeah.
The least thirstiest thing she could say. Be kind. Right there. All right. Here's question number 2. Oh, see you later, Alaskaman Jeff. Have a great one. And he's actually from Alaska, so that the name is worth it. Um, what's a childhood memory that still makes you smile?
That's a good question. So when I was a kid,
Mhm.
I got burnt in the sun
Uh,
because I was left out. I
all
was
right.
playing outside and, without the sunscreen, I was just
Mhm.
playing and I was completely burnt.
Oh,
Like still remember the pain I was going through. And my mother, she, I was, she got me when she was really young.
right.
She had the amazing idea because I don't know where she read it, but she had
Mhm.
the amazing idea and she thought using vinegar will help me like
Oh,
release the pain of the burnt.
oh,
Well, let me tell you that doesn't work,
oh,
and I know it, but in a
oh,
way it's funny because I was my mother's experiment for that thing. So when my sister actually then got burnt,
yeah.
she knew not to do it because of me. But that was funny, and since then I'm always scared to be to burn in the sun, and I'm always wearing sunscreen. I don't like being
Yeah.
in Italy and the Mediterranean Sea and everything. The skin is used to it,
Yeah.
so I don't get burned like Irish people, for example,
Yeah.
or people that like burn like 2 seconds. But
Mhm.
I'm still scared.
Yeah. Redhead people burn a little more easier than others.
Yes, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that
Vinegar.
that
Imagine that. I was like probably 7,
oh
8,
my gosh, that's awful.
and I have a picture of me completely burned.
Oh,
I'll still have it on my phone.
oh, that's oh man,
Yeah, but I think because she thought the vinegar was able to release, I don't know, refresh. I have no idea. I don't know
yeah,
where she read it, but I would like to read that magazine. Because back in the day, there was no Google.
yeah, that is true. Back before what, like early, what was
I
that
was
like? Like
born in '89, so I was probably 90. That probably 96, 97.
there you go.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that just listening to that alone makes my
Yeah.
it, it yeah, I hurt just hearing from that. Anyway, question number 3. This should be an easy one. This is the last question unless someone gives a rumble rant. Would you rather read a book or watch a movie?
Hmm. Read a book.
Hmm. Now,
Read a book.
why that over a movie?
Uh, I don't know. The book is more detailed, and
Yeah,
you can
that's
use your own imagination to create a world of whatever it is.
yeah.
And and then when you watch a movie, it's like 2 hours ish, more or
Yeah.
less, unless you're watching Tarantino or these people.
Yeah.
But usually it's like 2 hours, and you're watching somebody else's imagination. Back in
Yeah.
my day, yes,
Oh, or interpretation. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I will say the third Harry Potter movie. No,
I never
that's
watched Harry Potter once.
well, that's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm just saying for the third Harry Potter movie, no, no,
No.
they screwed that one up.
Oh yeah,
So
because that is based on the books.
yeah,
Oh yeah, so I see what you mean.
yeah, it had some parts, but it misconstrued things. Like one
Mm,
person gave a gift in the books to
Yeah.
Harry, where in the movie it was a completely different person who gave him a gift. I'm like, what?
That's weird though. Why did they do that? Like they have the book, so why they do that?
It's all time constraints. It's all the things with books. Even like the old stuff, like I'm listening to like BBC drama of radio drama of Sherlock Holmes. Some things they just don't translate over well because an author uses words to describe a scene and also the actions, where in a visual representation that wording gets taken away. So now you're
Mhm.
left with just the dialogue and the scenes of, and so you have to kind of fill that, otherwise it's going to be very
Yeah.
short thing. But yeah, there's sometimes it works better than others, but at the end of the day, sometimes it doesn't, and they don't get a second chance. So, but regardless, that is the end. Obviously, I want to thank all those in chat for coming along, especially those who have come and gone, both on the uh, Rumble side and the YouTube side, because I do stream to both. I also want to thank Italian CEO for coming on. It's been awesome having you on, dude, to kind of talk the little differences and whatnot. I mean, like I said, you're gonna go all over the place with this, so we've been everywhere.
I appreciate you for having me on.
Oh yeah, always. You're always welcome to come back on. I always try to bring people on again. Although, again, being in the content creator sphere, sometimes you get blocked by people for no apparent reason, and that's another. Yeah, you and
Okay,
so.
so I have to unblock you. Sorry, just give me a
God dang it. Yeah, a few of them were guesting on, and they never said a word to me of why. So you're gonna be dealing with that too, kids. So if you can't handle that, then that's also another issue you're gonna have to learn. But where there's one person that can block me, there are a dozen others I can invite on. And those people that block me, the door's always open, but kind of mess yourself up on that. I'm not even saying anything. Because I do like, if I do something, I would like to at least make amends to some degree. But if you give no opportunity, got nothing to work with.
Mhm.
So there is that. But yes, again, tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, I'll be on with Venkman's Girl. Don't know. I didn't see any links to anything, so I don't think they're a content creator, but that's okay too because I like all different perspectives, except bad actors. Not really an interested person on bad actors or heavy trollers, whatever you want to call them. I basically just call those type of people, the bad actors and stuff, destroyers, because all they want to do is destroy instead of create. And I'm more of on the create end. So, but
Mhm.
anyway, uh, at the end of my show, of course, you saw an intro video, which was done by a creator named Pogo. But I also play some of his other stuff too. And this one is called One Day With You by Pogo. So I hope to see you all tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. I want to thank you all for being here. And I hope you have all a great rest of your night. See you later, guys.
Everybody.
Bye.
we go.